So you're looking at the goblin camp. There's a small wall being built. There's 10-ish, maybe 8, maybe 13, who really knows, goblins over there working. You're peering at them from a distance through trees over a small cliff. What is going through your head?
Well, I look to my overseer for guidance, and I whisper, "That's a lot of goblins. Zephyr, you think we can take that?"
I don't hear you because you went on your own. I'm standing over with the other guys saying,
Based.
"Man,
Oh, I thought I went back.
you know, it's getting hard to believe that anything is real at this point. Like, my wounds are real, but everything we fight isn't. Like, what is happening here?" And then somewhere, a gust of wind carries the voice of Nick
Zephyr, even.
to me.
Yes, and my voice says. So
and
you
I
guys don't
rush up.
see me, obviously, because I'm so dexterous and stealthy. I
make my
sneak
way
up,
over
and
to
then you
Nick
just
to
hear my
talk to
voice,
him.
and I say, "All right, well, I've got some bad news. Over the hill, there's a camp of goblins. They're building some sort of fort. There's maybe like a dozen of them, perhaps 10. That's a lot, though.
Yeah, but the fort isn't even real. Like, how can they build something real when they're not real?
They can swing a
It's not
sword.
possible.
They can lay a brick.
Yeah, but I'm standing. I don't believe that they really exist anymore.
You best start believing in ghost stories. You're in one.
I don't believe in goblins anymore.
They've damaged us. I mean, they're real.
But are
They're
they?
real, all right.
Or are we just... Is what happening to us happening because we believe it? I disbelieve the goblins. Is that a thing I can do?
know.
Yeah, totally. You haven't disbelieved hard enough.
Damn it.
You still remember them. You can't see any right now, so maybe you did succeed, but you still recall them. I've placed you all on a battle map, so you can see more or less what you're dealing with. I've placed a number of goblins that could be visible to you, but that doesn't mean those are the only ones. These walls would block goblins, or maybe trees, lines, you know. This is probably not all of them.
Okay.
Listen, Zephyr, I'm huge fan of your idea of the whole, like, goblins or imaginary thing. Like, totally hear you on that, and I see the vision, but, like, one of them stabbed me, and it, like, really hurt, so, like, and it's not like I could imagine that away, so if we're imagining it, then we should probably, like, still try to deal with it as if it was. I'm not saying you're wrong here, but like we should probably catching me like try to deal with it as if it was.
I get it.
real.
You're right. Look, it's just been a stressful time. Like, I got shot in the face yesterday.
Totally
An
get
owlbear
it,
just
yeah.
attacked me. We need to deal with these goblins as if they're real. You're right. Elijah, your name's Elijah, right?
That's right.
Okay, you're the banana guy.
Bananas,
Totally.
candied cherries, chickens.
You count things. How about this? You can count on me. Let's deal with these goblins. This is our island. This is our legacy. These are our people that we're here to protect. And we're not going to let these pint-sized pirates cause any more ruckus or hurt any more of our people.
Very rousing.
So,
I have a plan, Zephyr.
I also have a plan. Tell me your plan.
Well, ever since our little conversation with Malchus, there's one of the spells I think I can cast. I think I could lure a good number of them out of their fort, make them come and try and attack me directly in hand-to-hand combat. Perhaps, and I point to this little hill over here, you guys could hide in the trees by the ramp there, and when they come up trying to attack me, you can get them from behind. And also, I'll make sure I hit. Some of them have got bows, but I think if I use this spell, they'll drop their bows and try and attack in melee.
You should probably put on your armor then.
Neil,
was
I have
similar.
a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanics-wise, talk to me really quick about. I've been wearing this, and I've been meaning to ask before the show, but I forgot. Talk to me really quick about the math of me attacking with a fist of stone versus me attacking as a rapier. How does it work out?
Excellent. Fist of Stone gives you 18-100 strength, so you'd be punching
So
with
sick.
your fist, which has a... I'm looking
Right,
at the math right
because it
here.
doesn't increase my weapon damage if I have a fist of stone. Obviously, right? I'd have to attack
Right.
with my fist.
You have to tap your fist.
It's
yeah.
+3 to hit, +6 to damage, but your fist really only deals 1 damage, but still, you're going to get one really, really good attack, right? Fist of Stone lasts 1 round per level. So
Yes.
you'll roll at +3, and then you'll probably do 7, maybe 8 damage, depending on the die roll, the d20 roll that you make. But it's a lot.
Gotcha. It's probably stronger than my rapier.
Much stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your
For
rapier
one round,
does, what, like d6
Yeah.
+1, and this is just going to be a flat 7 or 8.
And I can punch the same turn I cast?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Damn.
I'm gonna put my hand on Zephyr. No. Sorry, I'm still getting the names in. I'm gonna put my hand on Riven and a green.
Oh yeah, really quick, guys. Should we all in Roll20 just change our names to the characters' names?
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah.
Done it already. You can even put
Yeah, I'll do
like
it.
your name and then the character's name, make it even easier.
Yep. I'll put my hand on Riven, and a green flame or a green glow will pass on to you, and
Shit.
you will feel blessed.
Sick. What does that do?
+1 to a saving throw. +1 to next saving throw or stat check.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know. You might need it.
Casting spells and stuff. We're like a real team.
I say your plan is very similar to the plan that I have, but I was going to yell. So I like the use of magic better. So I instruct the party to... you wanted us to hang out here where I'm drawing like an orange line?
No, I meant more like inside these trees here.
That's
So that
probably
when-
going to cause...
So when they come in, you can get them from the sides. My only worry is it looks like down here there might be another way up. So maybe it would be better to do it in here and have them come down this path. And then maybe
In where, sorry?
like in this pathway here.
You want to be here and we hide in the trees?
No, like my feeling is that, right, you guys hide and we make the goblins run past you so you all get opportunity attacks and can attack them from behind as they like
Okay.
rush towards me. So it's just wherever's the best combination of guaranteeing they'll come this direction plus good opportunity for the party to hide.
So, like, my opinion is, I don't think we can get closer than, like, this without giving them a chance to, like, spot us.
Yeah, I don't need to get that close.
Okay. So where are we going then?
Okay, so
I
I'm
got an idea.
thinking that I cast a spell from like here. Yeah, and then
Right.
you guys hide like here and like here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think they could
Okay.
work.
Seems reasonable.
And then the real advantage of this is it gets them out of their fort, it gets their ranged attacks gone, which is the big thing.
This is
How many
assuming that they,
Go ahead.
this is assuming that they're dumb enough to take the bait.
It's a spell.
Okay.
It's a spell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right.
How many
to your
feet per
positions.
mechanical charge, Neil? Again, is it 30?
30 feet in a straight line.
We could also, if we've got rope, maybe make a tripwire. I don't know if that's possible.
I don't think anyone brought rope.
I don't
think
think
it's
it's
on
on
anyone
character sheet.
character.
I'm pretty sure I on air talked about that we should bring rope on an expedition like
We
this.
did.
Does
We
anyone
did, yeah.
have
It's,
pretty
it's
sure we
not on
have
my
a whole
character sheet.
scene.
It's not on my character sheet. I don't have it.
Okay.
It's fine.
I think you probably talked about it, and maybe this is a sticking point for you where you're like, hey guys, I'm in charge of logistics. We should get rope. And everyone's like, we should get rope. And then comes the day they need the rope, like no one actually packed it. I don't know how that
Yep.
sits in your bureaucratic brain.
Yeah, he's obviously annoyed by this. And he'll make a note of that.
Okay. I'm in position.
I'm in position.
I'm waiting with you guys over here.
Are we able
What
to
do you
hide in here, Neil?
Well, what do you want to do for hiding? Like, they're currently busy. They seem annoyed. They seem frustrated. The goblins, like they seem like they're in a little bit of suffering. These guys up on this tower have like a pretty clear view, but they're also on a higher ground and then on a tower, and you're under a tree. So maybe
Okay.
they can't see you at this range, or maybe they have seen you, but they're just not doing anything about it. Does that answer your question?
Sure. I try to hide behind this tree.
Yeah. Okay. Does that mean like
Um,
getting low to the ground? Does it mean hiding behind the trunk? How do you hide?
It kind of depends on how the terrain looks, but like I would try to stand really still beside the tree.
Cool. Great.
Cool. I'm hanging in like behind the tree.
You're also hanging out behind a tree. And what about
Get your own
you,
tree, Elijah.
I guess I'll go here. Is this? What do you guys think? Is this
That's a good spot. Yeah.
like
I think it's a thumbs up.
positioning wise? Okay.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Awesome.
Elijah.
Here, you know what? Swap with me. We'll swap.
Okay. Yeah. No. Good idea. I like.
Guys,
Near my
stop changing positions. They might spot us. Just quick, do the thing. Riven?
Yeah. What?
Go do your
Do the thing.
Okay. All right, Neil. You ready for me to basically give you what you've always wanted, which is the authority to attack me and no one else?
Did you put on your armor?
I don't know if I've got it with me.
You didn't bring it with you. You don't have the strength to really carry it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's fine. You can.
By
reroll.
the way, Neil, I was thinking about the words you used. Is it being encumbered that stops a sorcerer casting spells, or is it wearing armor?
You know, this is maybe not the opportune time to talk about that.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
don't we get to a equipment period and then we can talk about it.
That's 180 feet away where that blue cross is. That's where I'm casting it. It's a 30-foot radius.
Excellent.
I'm casting the spell Taunt, which I think upon casting the spell, shout insults at goblins in my own language, but which they can magically understand. Yeah?
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, so I shout some insults at them. And
Whoever's drawing, hide your shit.
I say...
Sorry, I was trying to show the radius.
Oh no, you're. I thought you were just trying to draw.
No, I was trying to draw the radius.
Oh no, you're good. Sorry. Now I
What?
feel like an asshole.
What are your taunts?
Yeah, so the casting goes on for a minute, so there's quite a few, right? So I start with something quite, tame. I say, Goblin, you've got the brains of a fungus and the face to match. Okay, so, that starts, I get some attention. And then I say, you're the reason your tribe leaves the torches unlit at night. Which is quite cutting, but ignores the fact that goblins have night vision. Perhaps not the best one there. It's not culturally appropriate. And then I say, your face makes a troll look like royalty. I'd pity you if I could stand the stench. And then finally, is it dark or is it light out?
ChatGPT came up with some good taunts there.
Yeah? Is it dark or light out?
I thought that was a taunt. It's light out.
Okay. And then finally I say, I've scraped better things off my boots than whatever you think you are.
Good.
Not
Nice. Thank you. I think the AI struggles with being really mean.
bad. Yeah.
So too. Yeah. Which is good for us.
Yeah. So I hit every goblin in a 30-foot radius with this, and it affects all creatures of the same type. So if there's anything that aren't goblins there, they won't be affected.
Okay. Duration is 1 round. So, let's get it going. Coming out of the fort, pouring at full speed.
Dragons.
No, only one type, only goblins. The dragons aren't taunted. Goblin movement speed. Right. So 60 yards is 180 feet since they are running towards you. So
You could say that
100
they're giving up defense as well by sprinting.
Yeah, that's what happens when you run.
Yeah.
Yep. So you go 180 feet. You go 180 feet. 180. And then this one needs to come down off the tower, which I'm going to say takes maybe 20 feet. Probably a little closer to 30 feet, so you can go 150. And the other one passed a saving throw. And it is now that we should roll initiative.
Nice.
I just want to dodge Neil.
Okay.
You don't want a sling attack? Oh, AC, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking the AC is going to be
It's
useful.
2? You might want to look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to
Neil's off
double
the
check.
Do
back.
I still need to roll initiative, Neil, or not?
Dodge is an
Yes.
initiative-less action, isn't it?
Well, we're doing a different form of initiative here. So a lot happens in a combat round. Initiative is your turn to make your choices and your decisions. In the past, where we've had a more fluid initiative system, like you've been able to save your movement for the end of a round or something like that, we're just going to say you can only act on your turn. No saving things. With our fixed initiative system, we're also not going to delay actions, because then we get into a really weird meta of like, I'm just going to delay until I go with my whole group. On your turn, you take your turn. That is your whole turn. So
Sure.
you have to wait until your turn to do anything, including dodge.
Still ready attacks, though.
You can ready attack, but we're going to have to be very specific, and it's going to be fairly limited. It can't just be like, I ready a bow shot to hit anything in the field of view that I want. You'll like, I'm watching that door, and if something comes through that door, I'll hit
I'm
it.
gonna
Or
hit
if
the
someone's
next thing that
stunned,
comes
But
out.
like in this
Yeah.
specific situation here, the party could have ready attacks from the goblins.
100%.
yes, but that ready to attack would just be for like, the square next to them. If over here, who is this? This is Shepherd. If Shepherd is readying their attack, they could ready attacks for this, but they couldn't ready an attack to like run over here and fight someone that's near Elijah. You're gonna have to be close.
Okay, but if a goblin ran past him, he could get his ready to attack off.
Yeah,
Perfect.
totally, 100%.
Sweet.
Okay. I think we also need to. I think this is good for now. So, starting at the very top of the initiative order is Riven with a 20 on their initiative.
It's perfect.
You're gonna.
You see this tree here?
Yeah.
You see this goblin with a bow and arrow there?
Yeah.
I stand behind this tree trunk.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
And then what?
Dodge.
Oh, total defense?
Yep.
That is a moveless action, sir.
Could I have moved after I cast this? Oh no, forget it.
Nope. So you can chill and take total defense exactly where you are, or
Yep,
you can
I'll do
move
that.
and make
I'll
an
do that.
attack.
I'll
You don't
do
have
that.
to. Parrying. During da-da-da-da-da-da. When a character deliberately chooses. In order to make himself harder to hit, a character can parry, forfeiting all actions in the round. Can't attack, move, or cast spells. This frees the character to concentrate solely on defense. Everyone except for warriors gains a bonus AC equal to half their level.
So 0 then.
We
I thought the total
will-
defense action was just +2. No, am I crazy?
That's a different one with a tumbling proficiency. There's two. There's the one that's available to everyone, and then there's the one that's available to the people with tumbling, which is, I think, better, but doesn't scale as well.
Okay, in that case then, I just move
Yeah.
here. No, in fact, I get my sling out, and I shoot this goblin with the bow and arrow there.
Great. You're gonna have to move a little bit closer. That's fine. You can move and then move back if you want, as long as it's all on your turn.
Yeah, I want to end over here, so that's all good, isn't it? That's gonna
Perfect.
be
Yeah.
in range. Yeah.
From that range, you can easily sling.
Get him!
Whoosh! Fire and a miss. Cedric Smith.
I'm
Since
impressed with your accuracy so far.
since we're
Master Shot's
doing
got
the
2
new
kills.
type of initiative, I just feel like nobody like. If someone runs here, are they within 5 feet of me technically, or no?
You are not in a great spot to ambush someone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna sneak over here, and I'm gonna throw a hammer with hopefully surprise. Don't know.
All right,
it's
I'll
gonna be-
definitely give you flanking on that. You're a
Okay,
little bit
perfect.
off to their side, but I think since you're appearing out of nowhere and throwing the hammer, it'll count as flanking for +1 to
Your
hit.
character throws hammers?
He can.
Nice.
It's not
Like a Mario Bros villain?
Yeah, it's not my goal, but like it's the only thing I can throw. So I don't want to waste the round.
Mate,
So here we
those-
go.
Those guys in Super Mario Bros. 3 were so annoying.
Here's the hammer throw.
Whoosh,
7.
flies
Miss.
way over the goblin, hits the rock behind him.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move over to here. I'm just gonna move in the middle and kind of. My goal is to do a bit of tanking.
All right.
Yeah, tanking.
Well, that's perfect because the next goblin who goes up is coming right here.
I'm trying
right
to
up
move how
towards
my
you.
character's facing because I think that isn't important.
And the
But
goblin
this
will take
stupid
a strike at you with his oh, this guy actually just has a dagger. It's a 7 to hit, a wild miss. Elijah, it's your turn.
Okay. I will run up and stab him with my dagger.
Come up behind the goblin. Dagger comes out. Rapier, dagger, something like that.
Sorry, rapier, yeah. And very confidently this time, because of how this went the last couple times, I pull
Huzzah.
20 incoming.
it, assuming a stance that I believe to remember from my fencing class, and
If you-
boom.
Oh my
God! What the fuck?
the actual fuck?
He's just
Someone
like a-
check his dice. Someone check his. Is this a critical hit? Roll double damage.
Jesus.
Fuck
8
yeah.
damage.
Yeah,
He's
the
alive.
goblin
Dead.
in and out of the goblin throat without anyone. Without. It's fucking. Stop ruining my game.
What the fuck?
All right.
Have I rolled a non-crit
don't
yet
think
this
you have.
campaign?
I don't think you have.
It's been good.
What do you? Where do you move after that, or do you stay there?
I feel like this position's great. I'm gonna wait. You know what? Let me move just a little bit like towards this cliff so that I'm not like right at the entrance. You know, I'm thinking like
Great.
StarCraft positioning here.
Yeah.
This goblin is going to come up over here like this, up onto this hill to get a slightly better vantage point. And yet from here, I actually think most people are behind some cover. I think they can attack Cedric with a -2 to hit for the concealment that you've got.
Is there battle music that I'm not hearing? Sorry.
There should be.
It's just really
There's battle
quiet.
music going. It's a little low, so we could maybe bump it up a little bit.
The goblin will roll an 18. -2 is a 16 against Cedric's
That's a
back,
hit.
which becomes an 18 again. And you don't have your shield, so that what's your AC? 14?
I do have my shield.
No,
Yeah,
back.
but your shield's it's in your back.
Oh, got it. Yeah, my AC is 15.
Okay, cool. Your shield brings it to 14, so you don't clear by 5. So it's just a regular hit with the goblin bow, and you will take 4 points of damage.
Down to
The
3.
next goblin is going to come right up towards Elijah. Bring out their short sword, run it through Elijah, but only hitting his robes, not actually impacting Elijah, but it got close. Another goblin
Pathetic.
comes up right for Cedric. This one's also got a dagger with a 4 to hit, nowhere near you. And the last goblin also comes to Cedric, who wanted to tank and is now tanking. An 8 gets parried by your shield without any effort, and Zephyr takes their turn.
Yeah, I'm going to position myself somewhere ill-advised, which is this position right here.
Oh!
And I'm going to be chanting the chant of peace.
-1 to
Minus
hit
1 to
for
hit.
anyone adjacent.
Yeah, which
That
includes
is
all my enemies,
all the enemies.
Yeah.
but none
Nice.
of my allies.
Yes.
I will be facing this direction and attacking the goblin to my right, who I should have back attack, flank, or whatever.
Yes, you
I don't know
do.
what is
Plus-
that numerically?
That is +2 for back attack, -1 for your chance, for a total of +1. And the goblin does not get his shield.
All right, +1 to hit. 8.
8 is not going to do it.
Oh,
It's all right.
Unfortunate.
that's my whole turn.
Well, everyone's got a -1 around you. That is a useful turn nonetheless. Riven.
Back here and take another shot at our ranged goblin
Oh
friend.
wait, I'm
Get
sorry.
him, Nick.
We got to the top of the end of the round. It's time for the other goblins to roll into initiative.
Wah, wah.
That's a lot of goblins.
That's a spicy goblin.
Okay, Riven, it is still your turn.
Come up to the edge here and sling this goblin with the bow.
Excellent.
Come on, Nick.
Boom!
Whoosh! Wild miss. Cedric, you're next. There's a lot of goblins all of a sudden.
What do you want me to do? I kind of get a little bit over here to like maybe hit a little tree cover because I know where the arrow kind of came from. You know, it's sticking in me.
Excellent.
And I'm going to chant. I have to begin chanting at the start, correct?
Correct.
I can't attack and then chant. So I'm going to chant
Correct.
some protection. So everybody gets 1 HP. Temporary.
Excellent. including you. Love it.
including me, and I'm gonna bing him.
Does that mean I'm
for
at 7 out of 6?
Just those who are adjacent to him.
Gotcha. Okay.
The 10.
This one, maybe bonuses for flanking.
You know, you're attacking this one.
Yeah.
You do not get a flanking bonus. Any if you did the shield would cover it, so it is
Cover
a
it,
miss.
So
Did that
this is gonna be a
goblin
miss
not
because it goes
turn
minus 1
fight
to 9.
Zephyr? Oh no, I guess it didn't because Zephyr got
Nope.
back attack.
He didn't turn. Nope.
All right, end of your turn.
Yeah, the goal was to be out of his range, but I don't know where he
Yeah.
is. So yeah.
All right, this goblin up here can kind of see, but not really see, so they're going to hold their attack. They're going to wait. Maybe they're readying it. Who knows? Elijah, it's your turn, and there's a goblin on you.
All right. How do I... So we talked about last time that if I do it just right, if I make it skip just right, we can use burning spray as a little AoE spreading fire type thing. I think
Yeah.
the problem is that there is currently a warden in between all the enemies, and there's probably
Right.
no way to direct that in a way that wouldn't also hit her, correct?
Right, so it goes at 5 feet, so, you know, any square adjacent to you,
Yeah.
and you could do as many squares adjacent to you in a line as you want. So if you were where Zephyr was, if the two of you switched places, you could AoE all 3 of these, but because Zephyr's there, you know, you'd have a hard time. If you went here, you could hit Cedric and 2 goblins, or
Yeah,
here
yeah.
could be Zephyr and 2.
Could he not just hit the 2 goblins?
Ow.
How?
Oh,
if he
from
goes
here?
next-
Yeah. Actually, that's true.
because-
From here, you could hit the 2 and not Cedric. You just do those 2 squares adjacent to you.
Oh, I understand now. Sorry, I thought it was a... Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
could he do it like this from that tile?
Yeah, if he did it from here, he would have to start facing this goblin and then turn his back
Yeah,
to this
which
one
is
as he
an
goes,
opportunity attack.
which, if the goblin were facing him, would be an opportunity attack. The goblin's not currently facing him.
So okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. So it's a square next to me, and then any square next to that square.
You can hit anything adjacent to you, but it has to be in a continuous line adjacent to you. So, like, pick a direction, that square, and then just rotate. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so
So if
basically,
you
like,
hit here, you
imagine
could go like this.
he can, like, this is the box. He can hit in this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction. Like, this is a 3x3 grid of directions
Yeah.
he can hit.
Yes.
You spew fire in front of you. It's got a 5-foot
Yeah.
range, and then you can turn your body so what is in front of you changes.
I'm so sorry, but if it has a 5-foot range, how is it hitting the goblin in the bag?
It's not. It
not.
would hit this one or
Oh.
this. So you could start by
and you
facing this
start
guy.
here and then go like this, and hit both of these.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay, that
understand
makes
now.
more sense.
Oh,
to me.
somebody did this with an arrow,
yeah,
which
I thought,
confused
but that's
me.
what I thought he was saying too. Yeah, okay.
Like I'm literally spraying and I'm turning.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're spewing.
I see.
Oh, okay. All right. And you can have
Okay.
it come out of your rapier, I think.
Yeah. So I could start like this and then turn this way.
Now I'm
You guys can see
understanding.
what I'm-
Yeah, but then you'd give an
Yeah.
attack of opportunity to this goblin. You want to start facing this one,
Because
and then so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
end
yeah.
facing the one that's fighting you.
okay. Got it. You know what? Fuck it. Okay, I want to try that.
So you.
But I can't wait. But if I start here, am I still giving him an attack of opportunity, or is it
Yeah,
only where I
you're-
end my turn?
No, you're turning your back to
Yeah.
this goblin, so you'd provoke an attack of opportunity.
If he starts with that goblin and kills him, would he get the attack of opportunity?
Not if he kills him.
There
You
you
gotta
go.
kill him first, then you're good.
But if you
Just
don't
do
kill
it.
him, you'll get the attack of opportunity. And I think if it hits you, it interrupts your spell.
I feel like, is there ever going to be a way for me to do this without giving someone an attack of opportunity?
In this particular instance, definitely not. In a lot of other instances, yeah, totally.
How?
Well,
they're
you
not
just don't have
facing
people
you.
that. Yeah, if you just had 3 goblins in front of you, like let's say Zephyr was a goblin, you could easily hit
Oh.
all 3 of them.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
True. You're right. If it's only if they're like. Okay.
It's when you're turning around.
Sorry, I'm really holding this up, but I need to
No, it's
understand the
okay.
mechanic. I'm trying to understand the mechanics of the spells better. Okay. Cool.
All right, but
In
your
that
character's
case, I'm not-
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that shit. Okay. Elijah's way too confident with his rapier right now.
Just
anyway,
kill
and
him,
last
man.
time he
True.
cast the spell, he burnt his fucking hand. It wasn't nice. He still doesn't really trust his skills with his magic. He thinks it's cool, but like, fuck that. I'm the best fucking rapier wielder ever to exist. Okay, fucking stab this guy's face.
Hit.
Wow.
Good.
Oh, crit.
Roll damage.
4 damage.
Not
Good damage.
enough.
Okay.
All right.
Bring it.
Elijah must be
Here we go.
Way over on the other side of the map, goblins put down tools and pick up weapons. That one picks up a weapon and starts strapping a shield. This one picks up a weapon and starts strapping a shield. This one picks up a weapon and straps a shield. And then we get to the bowman over here, who doesn't really have a clear shot of anyone. Cedric is definitely harder
Neil,
to hit.
This guy's in the
Riven's
30
harder
feet,
to hit.
no?
This archer?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got taunted. Absolutely.
What's he still doing on the tower?
He passed his saving throw.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. This one is going to try and take a shot at Elijah, but it's still short range. But Elijah does have some cover. We're a
2
concealment,
trees.
so a little bit of penalty
He's
to
also
hit.
shooting into melee.
True.
That's true.
True.
That's true. So that's going to be a 50-50 chance. Low is Goblin, high is Elijah. 3 out of 6 is low.
Fuck
and a
yeah.
19 minus
Oh.
3 for cover is still a hit. And they will do
Is it not a crit?
3
Neil?
points of damage.
think it
One way or
doesn't
the other,
matter.
Goblin dies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Took that one out.
I'll remember firing into
this one
melee. Good
equips.
call, Potato, for next
Yeah.
time.
Good call.
I could have got missed too.
Oh, true.
It's okay.
Oh,
though.
well,
we don't
yep.
need to go back.
Zephyr,
Sorry.
it is your turn.
Is the guy to the top facing me enough to provoke an attack of opportunity if I were to move?
Yeah, you're flanking.
So he would get an attack of opportunity if I move down here?
Yes.
Damn it. And this ground isn't steady enough for me to stand on comfortably.
Yeah, I would probably ask you to make a dex check, and then you end up either on the high ground or the low ground.
Okay. This guy here, am I facing his back? Is
Yeah.
his icon? Okay, so I'm getting an attack bonus there, right?
Yeah.
You get a
+2.
+2 to hit. Are you continuing your chant of peace?
No, I'm going to stop chanting for this turn.
Okay.
Hoo-yah! 12.
Hit!
Perfect. I
Perfect.
accidentally
Yeah, you go
closed my
right
character
through
sheet.
his armor.
Damage. Boom. 3.
That will do it.
Fuck yeah.
Perfect.
Well, no, it does not do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I misread his HP. That will
Oh
wound
my
that goblin.
God. What did he roll? Like a D10 for a health? That's a fucking Chad goblin.
He rolled very high, yes. This goblin has just been hit in the back. I think he understands that if he turns his back to Cedric, he'll take an attack of opportunity. So he'll turn to face you, sort of facing Cedric, sort of facing you, doing his absolute best not to be hit by too many people at once. And Zephyr, you can see that this goblin, he's struggling. His eyes are squinting. There's like sweat coming down his face, and he's got this look of suffering and pain on his face that he's very unhappy about. He brings his sword up and he brings it down. Your shield pushes it to the side, and this other one over here will just try and stab Cedric with a dagger. 11 is a miss.
Good.
Riven.
Top of the initiative order.
All right. 3rd time's the charm on this goblin. Coming over here.
It's
Yes.
gonna be a 4.
You want to shoot me with your other goblin, Neil? Too late.
I'm sorry. I'm doing
too
something. Did you moved?
Yeah.
Yeah, finally, the goblin takes his free shot. The one that he's been holding since last round with a 17 to hit.
Ouch.
Will hit you, Riven,
Yep.
for 6 damage. Ooh, max damage on that die roll.
Really do hate you sometimes. Let's
Hit the dice.
Come on, Nick.
Aha!
There you go. Critical damage. Roll it twice.
Boom.
12.
Oh,
his
the
fucking-
head caves
His
in.
head explodes, Neil.
It explodes.
Fuck
Yes.
yeah. All right, move back.
And the goblin dies.
Nice
I keep my
shot, dude.
chant going, and I attack
Excellent.
with my mace.
Excellent.
I'm gonna attack the. I'm gonna attack the wounded goblin. For 11.
11, 12 with a flank.
No
hold on,
shield. No shield.
No
Easy
shield.
hits.
Well, his shield's in the left hand.
No way, though.
He's attacking from the right side.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a 12.
Okay.
That'll hit. That'll hit.
For
That's gonna
7.
come back
And
to us,
that
guys.
will do it, even with the bonus
Boom.
HP. Another goblin bites the dust.
All right.
Is this easy? Is this not easy?
It's
We'll
a
see.
little scary.
It's a little scary.
Goblin Archer has... Ooh, no, definitely not a clear shot. Will hold attack. Elijah Evans.
I run up to the goblin. Elijah
Shrapnel.
was startled by the last goblin that died to the slingshot. Because the sight of having its head caved in by a rock brought back a recent memory that wasn't very pleasant for him. He shakes off that feeling and pushes forward
This is why he's going to miss, though.
and takes a stab at the goblin. But he's so distracted.
Makes exact sense.
He
yeah.
can't shake the thought. And wildly misses.
All right. These goblins over here spent the last round grabbing shields and picking up weapons. They are ready. Let me adjust their token.
I'm ready.
Right. This one will do this. This one will do this. This one will go here. And this one will step into view, will climb this tower to get a good observation of what's going on. And also head inside the walls.
Okay,
Leaving us
good.
with the other goblins outside, the goblins inside in a much more defensible position, and Zephyr's turn.
I will start chanting the stressor spell. Now, this says channel. Does that mean I can, like, just...
It's not a chant. This one... Have you read it closely?
Oh, I pick someone who I stress the fuck out.
Yeah, so in this one, what you're doing is you're like finding someone who's already under some amount of stress, like maybe a guard who's on watch during a hot day and they don't have any water nearby them, and you sort of slowly over minutes amplify some stress that they're feeling. It's much more of a role-playing spell than a combat spell.
Damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were like, oh, this goblin looks really stressed, and I was like, oh, is he hinting I should use stressor?
I mean, I wonder what it would do.
I channel stressor on this guy. I gesticulate him.
Okay. Yeah, so the spell works in conjunction with pre-existing stressors. To have any significant event, the target of the spell must be currently under some active form of stress, which can then be amplified. This may or may not result in a specific action. Common stressors include, but are not limited to, sun intensity, temperature, thirst, hunger, mosquitoes buzzing in the ear, chafing of equipment, blisters, poor conversationalists, itching, bright sun, injured leg, weak knees. In this situation, there's probably a lot of stresses on this goblin. What do you think is an appropriate stress to amplify in this creature?
I'm gonna stress. Did the other goblins disappear when they were hit?
Yeah, they've just vanished.
I'm gonna stress the fact that I'm gonna be yelling, making myself look big, and
Fear.
stressing him
It
out.
sounds like. Yeah. So you're
That
trying
he's
to
like in
edit-
combat and he's like feared for his life and he's gonna like maybe surrender or something. I'm gonna make him
Yeah.
seem like shit's going all sorts of bad. I'm amplifying the fuck out of his combat stress.
Yes. Okay. This is not a chant, so you can't do it in conjunction with something else. But you can begin to, this goblin's already under a lot of fear, a lot of panic, surrounded by enemies, his friends disappearing around him, and all of a sudden, this like presence, this divine presence of a god, just slowly puts his thumb on the scale and begins to push that fear from a 9 to a 10 to an 11. Now, this is typically used in role-playing situations, not typically in combat ones. It doesn't
We're
do
limit
anything on
testing.
your turn. Yeah. We'll see how this affects the goblin if they survive to their turn's next. Excellent. Let's see. There's an interesting situation we're in here. Where's my other D10?
I'm yelling at him to surrender. stressing him out. I'm like, surrender! Yield! Yield or I'll have your head!
The goblin turns to face you, which will provoke an attack of opportunity from the cleric. 8 becomes a 10.
10.
Is not a hit against his leather armor. Close but no cigar. And you can see the goblin brings up his his dagger that he's got, and the hand is shaking, like it's visibly wobbling in the air. Like the goblin is not 100% convinced that this action is the one he wants to take, but he still brings it up. His eyes go wide. They've been squinting against the sunlight, and now they go wide as the hand comes awkwardly shaking down to your chest, as if the goblin does not want to hit you but is compelled to. And it's a 4. That's a wild miss. The goblin doesn't get anywhere near hitting you.
Doesn't
leaving us
want
with
to hit you,
Riven.
but is compelled to.
From where I am, what can I see of the goblin tower?
You can see that there are 2 goblins in the tower. There's an archer, and then there is a goblin who's a little bit bigger with a larger shield. And these other ones have like this tawny, fawn-covered skin, colored skin. This other one up here has like a completely different skin color, like it's a different species of goblin, or maybe he's painted himself, or something like that. But there are 2 goblins in the tower.
Weapon range is in yards.
Yes.
So short range for a sling is 150 feet.
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, this goblin's not shooting me. Is that because of the trees blocking his vision, and therefore I can still see him, or would I have to
You have
step
no
away?
idea why the goblin's not shooting you, but you, underneath this tree canopy, do not have a good line of sight to these guys. You can kind of make sense of them, but you wouldn't be able to hit them unless you stepped out into the clearing. Well, just to the edge of the coverage. Like, if you can shoot them, they can shoot you is a pretty common...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I take another 6 damage, I'll go down.
Question I have,
It's looking
In
a little scary.
in a situation like this, if I were to stand in front of him, taking the total defense action with my shield, could he basically use me as cover?
If you were an archer, absolutely. A sling requires a lot of free motion and movement to use. But yes, you could hold a shield for another person with bows or crossbows. There's a reason
Got it.
slings fell out of use. They're
Is this goblin
extremely
over
cheap.
here wearing armor as well?
Yeah, he's got leather armor, and this one's got leather armor.
Does high ground give you a disadvantage on ranged attacks?
No.
I thought it did.
No, your target being prone gives you a disadvantage. But being on high ground doesn't improve or disprove your
I think the
shots.
odds are against me, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to stay where I am.
Cedric.
I attack. For 12?
12 will do it. Once again, back of the goblin.
6?
6 points of damage, almost kills it, but not quite. The bowman still can't shoot anything. Elijah.
All right. Yeah, is this guy still fucking alive?
Still.
Come on, guys. Let's He's still a bit distracted. Let's finish this guy up. And he stabs his rapier at him. There we go.
Oh
Jesus,
my-
the fuck?
Right back to it.
Let's go.
All right, you kill the goblin, Elijah, Archie, whoever the hell you are today. The other goblins have retreated within their fort, and I think there's a moment here where the combat slows to a pause. There's no more bodies. That goblin does vanish like the others.
I start cure light woundsing myself. So
Is
you
there
can go
a-
round by round whenever you're ready.
Is
Yeah.
there enough time to do this safely?
It's only one. So as we're talking here, we're healing. I'm
Okay. Yeah, I'll mention that I noticed that it seems like the goblin, doesn't want to be fighting. Could there be some force compelling him? Them disappearing? Maybe they're captured. Maybe they're part of the fortress. Maybe they're under the command of some unknown magician in the shadows.
They're building something here, I say, as my green aura protrudes on my own skins, mending them over slowly.
Were we? Question for Neil. Were
is
we
it
able
blue?
to see them go to the
All right, it's blue.
tunnel? Was that something we witnessed?
Nope.
Okay. We need
Is
to
it
we need to find out what they're doing over there, and if nothing else, dismantle it, because this is our island, and we
I
can't
mean,
have
it's-
people setting up shop here.
Better to get them now than when that whole wall's done. That place is going to be a fortress. At least right now we can get
Absolutely.
in there. We should probably do it today while it's daylight. It seems like they're struggling to see, and at night they'll have better vision than me or Elijah.
You're right.
If I can rest for 2 hours, I can get my spell back and lure them back out with the taunt.
Well, we won't get a safe rest for 2 hours. They're probably mustering more of their forces, whoever they have. They have friends. There's been so many of them. I don't think... If we rest for 2 hours, who knows how many will be here. I appreciate that. I look at the sky. How far along is it in the day?
It is most of the way through the day. So, like 2?
2 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's winter, so the sun sets pretty soon.
Yeah, the sun should set in a few hours.
I don't... I'd happily take the counsel of the party on this, but I don't believe that we can wait for 2 hours.
Well, what's the disadvantage? What do you think will happen if we wait?
Well, I assume your rest requires it to be uninterrupted. This is not the only band of goblins that we have witnessed. They're here, right here in front of us. They have seen us. I don't believe that there is an advantage. Let's say we do wait for the 2 hours, and then some of them come out to search for us and interrupt your rest. We're now in a worse position than we are right now.
But if we do wait and they do come out, that kind of accomplishes the goal of getting them out of the fortress to us.
Correct, Cedric. I guess the only downside would be if there's more goblins.
Yes, and
that
then
are
another problem
currently
is
further
there
away.
might be other goblins out on patrol that might return in 2 hours that we aren't sure if. There may be bigger, scarier monsters out there that are on their side. My personal opinion is that we get ourselves healed up and we see if we can...
I start casting on Riven.
What sort of ranged attacks do we have? What sort of abilities do we have? Can we do damage to this place from range?
Cedric, would you first roll a d8 to see how far you could heal yourself?
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I just assumed it was max, but then I remembered. Ooh.
Cringe.
Shit.
So I got a 5.
Sorry, buddy. Okay.
And then I'll roll a d8 for you. Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
if the party
Ah!
if the party is in an agreement that we should wait for the return of the taunt spell, then I agree. It's I think it
it's
comes
the
down to
best
Elijah.
case scenario.
Yeah, like I don't think that we can attack the fort.
Elijah, what do you think?
I mean, what do I mean, listen, guys, I think we're all making pretty good points here, right? Like, I think, like, I love the idea personally of, like, attacking now, but also, like, I think to what you said, waiting, great idea too. I don't really, like, I think we're really having a productive discussion here, and I think things are really moving forward.
Really great points, Elijah.
Great points, Elijah.
Really good, yeah.
Well, it's up to you, Zephyr. We've counseled you, and I think you can make the appropriate decision. I'll support you in whatever you want.
I agree.
I do not
I don't
agree
think
with
there's
this
a wrong
decision,
answer.
but you trust me with your lives, and so I'll trust you with mine in this instance.
All right.
Okay.
Right, yeah, I trust, sure. So,
I give Elijah a skeptical
Okay.
look.
Well, let's keep an eye on the fort. If we see more goblins arriving, or if they're moving, we can retreat.
Agreed. I think if more goblins come,
Yeah.
rather than probably fighting them, unless it's like 1 or 2, we should make an exit and retreat.
I agree. So let's keep an eye on them.
So let's
You guys
get
keep an
back
eye.
hidden up here.
I'm going to focus.
Yeah, you focus. I'll hide behind the trees again and prepare.
all right, hiding behind the trees. We're killing it, guys.
Yeah.
As your conversation wraps up, and Riven's been healed to full, and you make your plan, that's when everyone returns to sort of paying attention to around them, and pretty quickly, Riven, you're going to spot a troop of goblins has somehow either they've snuck out of the fort or these are other goblins who have come up, but they are sneaking through the woods and they are down here,
Shit. Wait,
the bottom
I
of
see
the
some.
map.
They're coming around the other way. I point to them.
6. What
I
should we
hide.
do, Riven? Should we fight?
Hide and prepare to attack.
I say
Alright.
we fight, yeah.
Right.
Hide.
Hi.
Yeah.
The
Neil.
second that I can, I want to charge.
No, I want
That's
to use
right
my
now.
sling. I want to use my sling. Neil, I got a free shot. I saw them, right?
You saw them. What I hear is that Zephyr is charging as Riven whips out their sling and begins
That's
to
an
sling.
initiative.
Yeah.
That's an initiative roll right there.
No, don't give up the free shot. Come on. Neil,
I think he should get his free charge at least.
Don't
should be
give
able
up
to
the
do
free
both.
initiative.
Let me
Just
just see
roll
if
well.
your shot goes before Zephyr's charge or not.
Boom, it does.
Yeah, it's going to go before Zephyr's charge. Great. Cedric, you've rolled in as well. Are you charging?
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah.
Okay, so Cedric starts off with the charge. Why don't you charge yourself in, buddy?
Come on, dude.
I can chant, correct or no? Can I not chant while charging?
Yes. You cannot chant while charging. You're moving too fast. It's you need your breath for the run.
Oh, well
Then I'm not gonna
Ooh.
charge. I'll
Okay.
I'll wait.
Riven, get your sling off.
18.
Bam! Excellent shot on a goblin. Would you like to pick the goblin?
This one.
This one in the middle? All
the
right.
middle.
Roll me damage.
Come on, Nick.
3 damage.
Three's not bad.
I'm so sorry. Whap! Smack into the goblin and Zephyr. You're doing a full charge, right?
Wait, so what are the consequences of a charge?
Minus 2 to
You
AC.
get plus
Minus 1
2
AC,
to hit.
plus 2 to hit.
Oh.
Yeah, plus 2 to hit, minus 1 AC.
But it's plus 2 to hit on 1 attack and minus 1 AC on potentially 6.
All of the attacks.
Oof. Okay. I thought charging was way cooler than that. So,
It increases your movement rate by 50 feet, 50%.
what's my current movement rate?
You can go 120 feet normally, so with the charge, you can go 180 feet.
Damn, I'm fast. You know what? Fuck it. I will go engage this goblino. But without a charge.
Okay, without a charge. Excellent. You come on up to here. Make your
And I
attack
swing at
roll.
him. Damn right. Hiya! That's a 1.
Natural 1. Well, this might be a short campaign, everyone.
I'm
Let's
the
roll
Joker.
initiative. Elijah.
I'm chanting Chant of Peace.
Chance start at the beginning. Okay. Well, I feel like you declared that after your die roll, not before. If
Wait,
that had
no,
been-
no.
if
I
that had
said
been on
I
the
said I
cusp-
can't. Wait, hold on. I said I cancelled my charge due to not being able to channel. I think that implies I was going to. I wanted to make sure.
So that means if you had just been on the cusp of hitting, you would have argued that you still had your chant going and you would have missed.
Yep, 100%. I just said it to make sure.
Well,
Because
that
I
18
was meant to get hit a
charisma
lot.
works on me.
Perfect. Whew. Barely got away with it.
All right. Now this is an awkward campaign because if your characters die, it's not like the new character that you would make to replace them is going to get the same sort of magic buffs or anything. So, first goblin comes on up. Short sword in
Minus 1 to hit.
hand. 7 to hit.
Whoa.
Easily
Why did-
deflected. Next goblin comes on up. 5 to hit. Easily blocked. This one that's right next to you already facing your front. 1 to hit.
Fuck yeah.
Nowhere near it.
I have 17 AC. Okay, I'm fine.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
AC.
but not for
Yeah,
the
but now
back.
this one's behind you with a 5 to hit.
That's a
total.
flank. That's not back.
That's back. That's definitely back.
Oh,
Cedric.
No.
It's your turn.
This tile here would be back.
I
There's
charge in.
3 back and 3 front tiles and 2 flanking tiles.
Okay, fair.
Go for it, Cedric. Plus
You
2
gonna
to
get
hit
plus
for
2?
charge, 2 to hit for back attack. Total of plus 4
Yes.
is a
Huge hit.
hit.
Boom.
For 5.
5. That will drop a goblin dead.
I'm gonna be. Can I chant now or no?
Nope. You
Okay,
charged,
perfect.
can't chant. Got to start your turn.
Thank you.
You could move forward and fill up that space though.
You could. Or you
Yeah.
could leave it.
Let me think about where my. Let me think about where I want to move real quick, because it does matter.
Elijah's about to fucking pop off right now.
I'm gonna move right here. I'm gonna face like this.
Excellent. Elijah, you're next.
Will I be able to move in position and cast a spell here?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah, do it,
Oh,
Burn
All
them.
right. Elijah
scorch
considers for a moment. He looks behind him. The path is clear for him to run. He looks in front. The two people he's been kind of following for the past couple days just ran into battle into what looks like surefire death. He looks back and forth. He considers what it would be like if he was trapped on this island right now with his magical powers without these guys. He thinks that sounds awful. So he says fuck it and he charges in.
Let's go.
All right, Elijah. So you move here. Now, it looks like you're going to burning spray.
Yes.
When you walk in, like you're coming forward, right? You're stepping into this space. So does this mean you're going to start, because facing is all of a sudden really important now. Are you starting your burning spray this way and then like turning like that?
Whew. That's a good fucking question, Neil.
Does Elijah even stop to think?
Probably fucking not. No.
All right, buddy! Put it in
He
chat.
starts chanting. He lifts his palm. All right, guys, I practiced for this.
And you begin
Burning
to
spray.
spray fire on these goblins. They get saving throws versus spell to avoid damage, or to have damage. The first one fails, and you wash him with 5 points of fire damage, burning the goblin, who vanishes from sight.
Does he not need to
As
roll
the
damage,
fire-
Neil? Oh, he
As
does.
the fire comes out
I
of
think
his
Neil rolled
palm
it.
and he sees the goblin's skin melt off, he goes, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the 5 above was your roll. I need you to roll
Oh
it.
no, sorry.
1d3 plus 2 damage for burning spray.
Got it.
That goblin might not actually be dead.
1d3 plus 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool, he's dead.
Oh,
Maximum damage.
yes.
The fire washes over to the next goblin as you turn around. This one will roll. Is that a pass?
Never.
Is that a pass? It's so close.
What did
It's
he
so
get?
close. It's a pass. It's an 18. This goblin will take half damage, which is going to be 2. As you turn to the next one, this one will fail. And you'll turn to the next one.
You only have to roll it once.
You only have to roll it once. Yeah,
Oh,
you're wasting
yeah.
your good rolls.
Got it. It's the same damage for all of them.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Got
this
it.
one will also burn and die on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
What is Elijah's kill count right now?
So
Okay.
high.
outrageous.
Yes. Yes. This goblin jumps to behind you now, Elijah. Finally, a clear shot at the sorcerer with a 15 to hit will pierce your... Actually, you have no AC from behind whatsoever, and he'll drive in his dagger for 2 points of damage to you.
Not bad. Good round, everybody. Good R.
Riven.
Awesome.
All right. Since everyone's in combat, I draw my short sword and charge.
Roll to hit.
+2 for charging.
Yep. Wild miss. Whoosh. Zephyr.
I will attack the goblin directly between me and.
Are you keeping your
Wait,
chant of peace
Neil,
going?
Neil, the initiative's messed up. You need to reorder it now that the goblins have entered the initiative.
Ooh, not messed up.
It's not messed up at all.
Well,
Why
it's
would
now.
why do I go before the goblins with 18?
Well, you don't.
You
It's
didn't
just
on
that,
mine.
like as it rotates through, they go to whoever you go to the bottom of the initiative.
Well, I went
So-
first because we got a surprise round, right?
Yeah.
But in the next round, the goblins with 18 initiative should be ahead of me.
No, it was me.
What are you
Because
talking about?
you went, then I went, then the goblins rolled in.
Yeah. And the goblins rolled an 18, so in the next round, they should go first.
And they are. They're going to go first.
No, I've just gone before them.
It's
This is
Zephyr.
this is your action
you
for that next round.
okay? So you have 11 initiative. You
Oh,
go
okay.
11. Zephyr goes 12. Goblins go
Right.
18. Right?
Yeah, sorry. I misunderstood.
I don't think anything's messed up.
Okay.
You,
Zephyr,
you got
take
you
your
basically
turn.
you got a surprise action. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how it was working. All right, I'm attacking.
Yes.
I flank whatever +2 something
Yes.
-1 for chant.
16 becomes
17.
a 15, will hit.
Hiya! 8
There's no
damage.
+2 for flanking, but you do
Cleaved.
kill him. He's dead. Another goblin,
And
sword
I
through the
shimmy.
heart, body vanishes. That maneuver right there is going to have you turning your back to this goblin as you step into that square. That'll provoke an attack of opportunity.
Okay,
move
can I
there.
shimmy around this way? Like.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, just around the backside so you can get to that same spot. That's fine.
Yeah, it was just the way that I did it was because there's
I
not enough
understand.
map here.
No, that makes total sense. This goblin who is next to you, you kind of go around behind him. He'll end up just turning to face you if I can get the facing right and
Yeah,
run
it's
you
awkward.
through with a 6 is no good. Cedric Smith.
Can I come down here?
Yeah.
Is that a hit?
Back attack.
Alright, I'm gonna attack. 16
Excellent shot.
for 5.
Goblin dies,
Good.
leaving us with just this one over here who's behind Elijah. He actually goes at the same turn as Elijah. Somehow he's going first this time, I think because we reordered it, but it's still a miss. He rolls a 1, nothing. Elijah, it's your turn.
That took up all my MP. I have no more spells, but I have plenty of rapier to go around.
Let's do it.
I turn around towards the goblin. I stick my rapier in his face. It's rolling. It's not. It's stuck rolling.
It's deciding. Oh my
Are
god!
you
Oh.
serious?
What the fuck?
And it's always
can't
18
roll.
too. What the fuck?
Less
That's
than
your number.
18.
Yeah. Get him.
Let's roll another. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I need to take a break. All right, the combat's over. We're going to be back in a few minutes on the other side. This is ridiculous. I got to go talk to the Roll20 team. There's something
All right,
wrong here.
have a word.
The goblins lie dead. The Roll20 devs have told me that there are no errors, that Pichal is just rolling correctly. I don't believe them. We're going to press on anyway.
I
After
put my
battle.
hand.
I don't know how it's happening, but somehow he's taking my luck. I think we're all in agreement that that is happening. I'm not sure how, but that is what's happening.
I think so. I put my hand onto Elijah. And what am I feeling as I'm casting Cure Light Wounds, Neil? Can you explain a little bit? What's going through me now that I've casted it, 3 or 4 times at this point?
Yeah. You ever thrown a basketball before? And you're looking at the basket and you're some distance away and you're trying to toss it in. You can use a different amount of force and a different angle, and you have all of these things that just kind of really naturally occur to you to do your best to toss it in. You kind of get a similar feeling here where Elijah's wounded and you just feel this impulsive, like, if I reach out to him and I focus on it in the same way that I would focus on taking a basketball shot, which doesn't necessarily take a ton of focus. I mean, if you're doing a good job, it should. And you can just sort of... it feels almost like a second nature, like something that happens automatically or intuitively, which I think is probably weird for you, because this is not something like this is all of a sudden being able to like have gills and breathe underwater.
Yeah.
It's a new experience that channels much in the same way that, deciding how to balance as you're walking across a board, or how you shift your weight when you're climbing a tree. It's just one of these intuitive things that happens to you. And you might think that you would have to be thinking about a god or channeling divine power, and you kind of are. Like, if you really think about it, you can feel a connection to Martha. Your thoughts can turn to her, but you're not required to. You're not required to reach out to her. You don't have to say any prayers. This healing power just kind of flows through you with ease.
Okay. Well, I heal Elijah for 5.
All right.
And I'm gonna keep trying to tap into the.
Thank you.
Where is this
Just
feeling
much
coming
better.
from?
Where is
all
this
right.
coming from?
Were those the guys at the front? Do we want to go in? Do we want to try?
I think we should at least investigate.
Wait,
It seems like these
there's
guys are
still the
coming from-
commander. We should be careful.
Yeah.
I saw one of them. He was bigger, a different color, and he had a shield.
And we should take him out and interrogate him and find out what the hell is going on here. That's our job.
All right.
If they're here to uncover the secrets of our society, then we need to stop them.
Yeah, I agree. Not sure that we'll be able to speak to them, but we should at least see what's behind those walls.
If we
Okay.
can capture one, try to interrogate them. They might speak our language, but if they don't, just don't take risks you don't need to.
Well, if any of them does, it'll be the commander probably.
Here's my thought: we approach the fortress in formation. Shield bearers at the front, and we approach in formation so as to get up close and personal and minimize the possible risks.
There was at least one more archer on the tower. We should maybe not be too unaware in our approach.
With
Maybe
all the
make-
magic that's happening, I think we should go tree by tree, and we should actually split up in the approach.
Maybe make a run over here, I say, pointing to that cliff.
Mm-hmm. And then follow the cliffside.
Yeah.
I could do a chant of protection in case any wry arrow comes.
Sounds good.
These just make me think we should move in formation towards it directly.
I actually agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can be chanting protection. We have
I agree.
shields. Bearers in the front.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so me and
the-
Elijah are in the
wait.
back and Cedric and Zephyr at the front.
We also need to discuss the plan so that we know what happens in case things go awry. If we reach the fortress and there's too many enemies, what do we do?
We run. We leave.
How many enemies
I'm
are
with
too many?
I'm with Cedric here. I think if the enemies are too many for us to fight, I think we should leave.
So if there's more than 3, we leave.
More than I could take on 3.
We can take 3.
Okay, more
We
than
just
4,
killed
we leave.
6.
More than 4, we leave.
More than 4, we leave and we consider our next move.
Correct.
Excluding
Deal.
the man in the tower.
Including.
Then I vote more than 5.
Okay.
Okay. More than 5.
Okay,
Keep in mind, we
at
killed 6
5
because we
or
had-
more than 5.
More than 5.
More than
Okay,
5.
so if it's 5, we stay.
If it's 5, we stay.
I will give the signal
Right.
to run.
Okay.
The signal
All right.
will
Okay.
be
Good idea.
me yelling, run.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, Elijah, take a step back so Cedric can be in the front.
I take a step back. so Cedric
I want to
can
be
in front.
second. I'm not going to be front.
No, shield bearer is going to be like this. It's a box formation. I will draw it really quickly. S for shield bearer, S for shield
I see.
bearer, S for sorcerer, S for sorcerer.
Yeah, well, that's how we're set up. So let's go.
shield, and we just go.
Neil,
All right,
can you move
perfect.
us in unison?
Yes, I can. The party,
I
I think,
do a chant
comes
of
out like this. You
Yeah.
chant a protection. Everyone.
No.
Well-
up to the wall here, Neil.
We would approach like this. This is to
Okay, up to here, and then like this,
Yeah.
and then like this,
Yeah.
and then poof, to the
Then charge.
entrance.
And then we run in. Yeah.
All right. Well, who is first? Because you can't squeeze through here.
Not me. Zephyr's
Zephyr
first.
leads from the front.
I'll go
All
second.
right.
And I'm chanting protection.
Oops, this should go back. You chant protection. You bust into the camp and find no goblins, but you do see a pit in the ground
did
with a makeshift ladder.
I throw a rock. I drop a rock down and count how long it takes for it to make noise.
Is this like a sneak up to the edge and not look over and just kind of like toss it and wait, or like
I'll
a,
kind
a
of like
drop
put
down
like my
and take a
hand
look?
up to wait and like kind
It's
of
like, toss it.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
toss
to
it.
signal to you like we need to look around first before we investigate the pit.
It lands in a second or so.
Okay, so it's not very deep. Got it.
I'm gonna go over here and check this.
Yep. You get over to the tower. You can climb on up it. You don't see any goblins. You see some really crude, rudimentary construction. When you climb the tower, the whole thing shakes. Like, those posts are not driven deep into the ground. They're lashed together with, like, the most rudimentary of construction techniques. The boards underneath your feet, which are very, very rough-hewn, like, creak. A couple of them are already cracked, like they were
I'm gonna
split
get down.
poorly.
I'm gonna go to the
Yeah.
bottom and I'm gonna try with my 18 strength to push it over.
Ooh.
Strength
You
check.
to roll me a.
Wait, before you push it over, you gotta show what the. What did you look around like far away and see other camps maybe?
Yeah, you'll bring that up as I go to push it over, and I'll get back up there and I'll take a peek around. And do I see anything of interest?
You do. You see a ship arriving at the town down below.
Fuck.
There's a ship arriving at our town.
There is?
Yeah.
Get down, let me have a look.
Oh my god, is it?
I get down and I tell you it's rickety, so be careful.
I climb up. I'm a lot less heavy than Cedric, so I'm assuming maybe I'm okay.
Wait, is it a ship from?
Yeah, sorry. I check. Neil, is it have a Verasi flag or just Oz Bay flag or?
It's a familiar ship to you. It's the mayor's ship. It looks like the mayor has returned from his. What do you call it? He's also the exporter. So wherever he went to go export things, he's returned from.
It's Mayor Bromit's ship. I shout back down.
Okay.
That's good news.
That is good news.
Okay.
Am I good
Good
to
news.
push it over, Zephyr?
Yeah, and we should probably set fire to it as well.
Okay.
All right,
I don't think
roll
that'll
me a d20, Mooten. You want 11 or higher. This is the equivalent of an open doors check.
15.
You wanted an 11 or lower, not 11 or higher. I'm so sorry.
No, you lied to me.
I
God
did
damn
lie
it.
to
What
you.
was I supposed to know?
He gets to reroll, Neil. That's the rule.
Come on.
I
I was
see him
channeling the big
struggling.
number.
I make my way over, and I bless him, and I help
okay.
push.
All right, go ahead and make me a push again, Mr. Mooten. You can get
Is it D100 or D20?
It's a d20. Now with his help and the bless, you need a 13 or lower.
13 or lower. Same.
Ah,
I can't
all right.
get it. Whatever.
The tower is poorly made and it wobbles as you shove it, but like it's just together enough that it doesn't quite tip. Maybe with the whole party shaking it back and forth a lot, you could get it to collapse, but it would probably be a collapse, not like a topple. It might
Yeah.
land on you.
That's fine. We'll
Okay.
leave it for now.
Sorry.
Which direction were the other camps that you saw? Or wait, no, you didn't see other camps.
I
You
didn't
saw a
see any
ship
other
returning.
camps. I just saw a ship coming to the... But it's a ship that we know. It's not like a Verasi ship or anything.
Let's investigate this hole. I get one of the sticks that are around, and I take off my helmet and I put it on the stick, and I make it so that it looks like someone is peering over the edge of the hole.
Seems fine.
I think what we should do... Hear me
Okay,
out.
put the helmet on. What do we need to do?
What if we build a fire at the base and kind of like smoked them out? Someone has fire making, right? Someone would know how to do this.
Yeah.
We would need something to cover the hole as well. Make sure the smoke doesn't just come out this way.
I point over to all like the boards around, kind of.
If we do this...
We can't go down though.
Yeah, well, there's got to be another way into this place. We might see the smoke rising somewhere else and find out where that is.
We should at least investigate like this hole, like, and its immediate.
There could be anything down. I mean, there could be traps. There could be more goblins. You know, it's probably going to be tight down there. We'll probably struggle to stand up.
Looks
If we
like
have to fight
1v1.
that goblin
We
leader
should at
down
least-
there. It'll be a tough fight.
I 100% agree, but we should at least investigate the hole, right? Like,
Sure.
just like go down there and see what's going on. If you're worried about, like, you know, you could tie a rope around me. I'll climb down.
We have
If
no
I get
rope.
into trouble, you can pull me out.
We haven't got a
But
rope.
I
but
think
we
it's
can pull
fine
up-
to
we
go
could-
and check it.
I think they would have rope. These guys,
They don't.
like, they don't. How the fuck are they building a tower? That's what are they using? Ghost nails?
You don't need nails or rope for wood joinery. Mortise
Is
and tenon.
God,
Neil,
Neil,
is the
I hate
ladder
the amount of
lashed?
knowledge you have.
Is the ladder lashed?
No.
Then we can just use the ladder to pull them up.
There's a ladder already in the hole.
That's what I'm
Sure.
saying. We can use the ladder to pull them up.
Yeah.
Neil's excessive knowledge and random topics is infuriating sometimes.
And impressive, yeah.
All right,
You
Zephyr,
know-
you're going to be the one who has to go down there.
All right. I wouldn't make you do anything I wouldn't do myself, so I make my way down.
All
Call
right.
for help, Zephyr, and we'll pull you up immediately.
The hole goes down 6 feet before it hits bedrock. There are no exits or entrances anywhere. It's just a small hole in the ground with a little ladder in it.
Nothing in there?
I look at the hole and I say, By all 6 gods, let me through, damn it. And climb back out of the hole.
Cool. It's just a hole. There's nothing in there.
So where did they go? Why were they here?
No.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna inspect around this camp.
I get back up on the tower, Neil, and look around.
Yep. You can see Mayor Bromit's boat has arrived.
Yeah, but I'm more interested on the top of the mesa.
That's, this ridge is pretty... You see trees, you see the path that leads up here. You can see where you fought the owlbears way off in the distance, or, somewhere near that spot. You can see the east shore, and you can see the west shore, the north and south shore. No sign of camps, no sign of creatures, just the town down below, which you've got a pretty good sight of from up here. Whoever is in this tower can see the town pretty well.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
As I'm up on this tower, Neil, I will reflect on the adventures of the day, and especially on the killing of all those goblins and that owlbear.
Why would they make a ghostly owlbear fight their ghostly goblins? It doesn't... What is happening?
I'm gonna inspect this over here, Neil, as well.
That is an artifact. I could not remove it from the map without ruining other things. Okay. Please ignore that detail.
Ignore
it.
Neil, do I get any experience while I reflect on these things?
Yes, we can award XP for the party. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Perfect.
Guys, what is actually happening?
I think it sounds like Neil's very much hinting at, like, this is a place to view down there and keep an eye on the village. Don't know what the hole is. Not too sure. That might also be an artifact.
Do you know what the hole might be for? Hiding from owlbears.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But why are the goblins disappearing? Who has this power to create creatures of shadow or...
Sure, yeah.
The gods? I mean, if they
Why
saw
would they
fit
watch
to...
the town? They watch us all the time.
Maybe
I'm not
they
sure.
Just, maybe it was just some burst of magic that came into being when the gods came down here, and it just brought these things into existence.
It's
But
possible.
the tower is here to watch the town, or at least it seems as if it's here to watch the town, and the people
Everyone-
have gone missing.
Take 433 XP for all the goblins today and the owlbear and goblin fight yesterday. Well, earlier today.
Amazing.
So 534 XP.
137 I've got.
Yep.
Sorry, how much?
537.
I thought it was
We're
534.
Neil-
past that.
Neil, is there any in this encampment any signs of rations, products coming in,
No.
any type of waste, anything?
You do find a makeshift latrine where someone has dug like a little pit and there's a bunch of goblin bodily waste in it.
I stab
But
the bodily
no.
waste. Does it disappear?
No.
What the fuck is going on here?
You guys should be at 2,037 XP because 1,500 is already given because you're level 1.
Oh.
What? No, wait.
We're level 1, so which means you're at 1,500 XP, right?
You're started
you
0 XP at level 1.
Oh, maybe I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a dumb fuck. It's okay.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Yeah, Neil. Basically, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, they've been shitting.
yeah,
what have
well.
they been eating? So I look
Well, that
around.
I don't know if you can determine what they've been eating from their poop.
No. I'm just saying, like, is there any
Oh,
Remnants.
shoot off
Right.
bones anywhere? Is there like, banana peels, cherry pits?
That's where the missing bananas have gone. Elijah flies into a rage. Starts writing 19s.
You do indeed find some an abandoned campfire that is not up on this mesa. It's actually down and over a little ways, off the edge of the map a little bit, where there is a campfire. You don't have a fire building proficiency, but you can just find the remains of burnt sticks and charred stones. And near that, you can find little bits of skeletons, like squirrel and bird bones that have been lying around, broken and had their marrow sucked out. Trying to
And-
get everything.
Okay, so Elijah's starting to take notes and he's starting to do some math. Guys, how many goblins did we see total? It must have been what, 15, 16?
Maybe
We
even a
killed-
bit more. Yeah.
We killed 4 the first night. We killed 5 or 6 by the lake. Then
Those
we
might have been
saw
somewhere
5
else.
get killed by the bear. We
Yeah.
just killed like another 10.
25.
Okay. So let's say we don't know if the ones that we killed the first night were from here,
That's true.
but we can for sure say that the ones around here must have been camping out here. I think that's a reasonable assumption. So let's keep it reasonable. Let's say 10. Neil, all these squirrel remains and stuff. What is the quantity here? What is the amount? Does it look like they were here for one night? Is it like 10 squirrel bones, or is it like a huge pile like they've been here for a while?
Why don't you make me... Let's see. This is a great approach that you're taking. Elijah's not much of... I don't get the vibe that Elijah goes camping a lot.
No.
But you're using your brain to piece things together in an unfamiliar situation. So why don't you make me an intelligence check, Elijah? And I'll get you a rough number. If you had like a tracking proficiency or hunting proficiency, I'd give you better information. But you kill it. You make a 26. You need a 21. This campsite looks like it could have been home to goblins. Like you said, 10 goblins. It could be home to 10 goblins for a couple of nights. Or maybe home to half that number for twice as long. So something like that.
Or twice that number for one night.
Yeah.
Got it.
So if it was 10 goblins, 2-3 nights maybe, judging by
how-
just sort of debris.
How long ago did the gods come down?
Today
Would have been 2
is
nights
the
ago.
12th. They came down
But
on
we-
the 10th.
We fought the goblins before the gods landed the first time.
That's true. That's very true.
We did, but the
already know
gods
that,
were on
yeah.
the way.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
That's
meant.
true.
But then it's more than a day or a few days, right? Then it's weeks.
So, guys, I've been looking at the bones. I've been doing some math here. From what I can tell, this place hasn't been... I don't know how long this place has been around, but these goblins haven't been here for a while. Maybe 2 or 3 nights? This is pretty makeshift.
Our
we
patrols
also
haven't
know
revealed
that
any
they came-
goblins.
We also know that they came before the gods came. But not that much before, right? They can't have been here for that much longer. Do you think maybe these goblins anticipated the gods coming?
There's no way they could have gotten here. I mean, I've lived on this island my whole life, and I've never seen a goblin here. Is that right now?
Yeah. There's no monsters
I've-
on this island.
There's no way they could have got here. I mean, we'd have seen the boats. Can goblins even make
Right.
boats?
I
Looking around from the top of the tower, Neil, I'm looking for chopped down trees. Do I
There are
see
some
them?
there's a bunch of felled trees in the immediate vicinity around here. I don't have the stumps on the map, but like
Okay.
there's some trees in this area that have been chopped and some other nearby trees that were picked probably for their straightness that have been felled. And
I
there's also
investigate. I want to. I'm a plant and tree expert.
Yes.
As you'll remember, I have herbalism proficiency. I've got artistic ability gardening.
These
like to
trees were
determine-
hewn with axes, not saws,
How long ago?
very recently. With all of your gardening related skills, make me a wisdom check. Or something, a skill based on wisdom that you've got for gardening.
That's a artistic ability gardening check.
That sounds good to me.
It's a 25. No, 23. Sorry.
Yeah. Some of these trees were chopped maybe 5 days ago, and some of them were felled today. And it looks like there has been... I'm assuming you're taking like half an hour to search this area,
Yeah.
so you can like take a look at everything. It looked like there have been continual felling of trees over the last 5-ish days. Less than a week, probably more than half a week.
All right, come back and say. All right, so based on the trees here, I think they only started cutting these down within the week. Maybe 3 or 4 days ago. In fact, when did we fight the goblins the first time, Neil? About 4 or 5 days ago?
That would have been 2 nights ago. Wasn't it? It was
It was
right
before
before
the
the
gods landed.
That was probably a
We were
week
doing a
ago?
We were doing a night patrol because a couple of people disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of broadly lines up with that then.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been a week ago, because today's the 12th. You fought those somewhere around the 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it's a rough lineup. You know, if your
Yeah.
reading of the wood is a little bit off, or your memory is a little bit off, or, you know, they didn't start felling things the moment that they showed up.
Or they didn't find this spot immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call the party together. And I say, here are the current theories that I think accurately encapsulate the information that we have. There is some dark sorcerer or magician or group of magicians that have compelled these goblins to investigate the island. These are some sort of magical servants to a extremely powerful wizard, and they are investigating our island because they knew the comet would land here. That is my first theory. What do you think?
I think that's a fair one, actually.
Well, here's a counter to that. Why would a wizard make an owlbear that attacks his own goblins?
That comes to my second theory. My theory is that this might be Farron. And he is somewhere where he doesn't have full control of his magic, and so isn't able to manifest things exactly as he wants them to.
Just, it's Ferris. It's the Farron Empire with the wizards.
Sorry,
called
Ferris. Sorry, Ferris.
Potentially. But would Ferris really have worked with goblins?
Perhaps that's all he has access to.
Perhaps
Maybe
his is
he's
the
in-
owlbear. I don't know.
I always heard that owlbears were made by mad wizards. Ferris wasn't mad.
The other explanation that I have is that the magic of this island, of the fortress, is rapidly decaying and firing off randomly, and had begun awakening even before the gods landed, because perhaps some of the magic is tied to Malchus and Martha as they were coming down, which is why these goblins appeared as the comets appeared in the sky.
Building on that, perhaps we've got the causality wrong here. Maybe the gods have come to this island because of whatever happened to cause the goblins to appear here. Perhaps something's happening here that's made the goblins, the owlbear, appear, and that's why the gods have come down here.
Possibly.
Can I throw up a folklore or ancient history check on... Is there... So we know the gods have landed in the past, but are there stories or something like that of, like... demons or, you know, something appearing when they like come? Like, are there stories of, like, creatures that shouldn't have been there started appearing? You know, I'm looking for, like, that angle.
You're looking for, like, a piece of mythology that fits with what you're experiencing. Yeah?
Yeah. Of, like, has anybody ever heard of this? You know, yeah.
Yeah, you do have folklore and religion, so make me one of each of them, please.
Boom. Ooh.
Hit the religion.
Excellent. So, when we're deciphering ancient religious texts or ancient religious stories to try and pull information out of them, the stories that get handed down get refined and changed over the years, right? So, there are stories about the gods coming to the world because there are monsters here, and they're here to get rid of the monsters. When in the long time ago, in the Age of Heroes, when gods were summoned down to the world by powerful clerics who brought them to help empower those clerics or holy warriors, paladins, to help fight off the evil that had arrived in the world. Maybe those stories aren't quite so accurate. Maybe the gods came to the world and then brought the evil with them. Like, that's one option in that religion check, that the stories about gods being summoned to the world to fight monsters just have their timeline slightly changed. There are stories about evil gods, you know, Varasi or Malchus coming to the world. Evil in big air quotes here, because sometimes they get treated as bad people. where Malchus creates all sorts of evil monsters, and he comes to the world in order to create all of these terrible creatures, or Verasi comes down in order to help shape out, nasty hydras or long serpents or ettercaps or some other sort of terrible, horrifying monster, but she comes to the world in order to make them while she's down here. And that's sort of similar. You don't have any stories that are specifically like, and the gods showed up, and coincidentally, without action by the gods, monsters showed up at the same time. But also, like, it's been so long that it would be hard to get, it would be difficult to get some real, true, very accurate stories from that long ago.
Okay.
Just had a little thought, Neil. So looking around this camp, there's tools here, right? There's like axes that they've used to cut down the trees with.
There are not tools lying around, but you can see that the trees have been felled by axes.
So what about I jump down into the hole?
Yep.
What's the ground like at the bottom of the hole?
Rocky.
Is there a shovel down here at all?
There's not.
On the ground up here, does it look like this hole has been recently dug? Like, is there a pile of dirt?
There is some dirt that has been cast out from the hole that's been scattered around it. You can kind of see the area around the hole is just sort of, tossed out earth, removing the grass.
Is the ladder the exact right size, or is it maybe a bit too big?
The ladder's a little bit too short. It doesn't quite reach the lip.
I wonder if maybe this isn't a hiding hole and they were trying to dig their way to something. Maybe
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
treasure or a way into the fortress? Maybe that's why they've been so keen to abandon it, because they hit rock down there.
Where did the big goblin go?
Maybe to another point to dig somewhere else.
We need to find him,
We
because
were
he was
only
here.
a minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's only been minutes since he was here.
Well,
Maybe he went out with the other party when they were coming and we just never saw him. Maybe they'll return. They don't even know
Night
we're in here.
is falling soon. If they intend to retake the camp, they'll probably do it during night.
We do need to get back to the town, especially to visit the mayor.
You're also out of food. You had
we are.
food for breakfast this morning, but you haven't eaten in the afternoon, and it's getting on towards evening.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the goblins keep
Before we
disappearing.
leave, I'm going to destroy this.
Well,
I'm gonna
set fire to it all because I have fire building.
That's going to take hours,
No,
right?
It'll take some time. Probably not hours. With fire
I
building,
only
you
have to
can
get
put
one
something
fire
together.
going. We feed it. It's all wooden. We just
Yeah,
set everything.
but you'll
roughly
still
on
have to
fire, right?
haul. These stakes in the ground aren't particularly well set, so you can pull them out. But it'll still take all together building the fire and then hauling all of the wood and stacking it up and getting it going. It'll probably take you an hour to burn this fortress down.
Okay.
Totally
Maybe,
reasonable. Totally doable.
Maybe make the fire in the hole. It should create a good environment.
We can make multiple fires, right? Because once you have one fire going, it's easy. So we can make like smaller piles. Like this can be a pile. This can be a pile. This can be a pile.
Okay.
This is already a pile. So yeah, I'd say an hour. Quickly burn down all the wood. Clear it
Okay,
out,
and then
we get the hell out of here.
once the fire's done, we're gonna head down the mountainside and back to Aknara.
Correct.
So.
And we are
I
moving.
swear we're not in
quickly.
Turkey. I swear. Okay.
The goal would
We
be to
get
go
home.
home, yeah.
Yes, but we're going to go the way that we didn't come in, right? So we
Agreed.
should be careful.
Correct.
All right. Well,
We are keeping an eye out, but we're not like sneaking.
you burn the place down. You head down the mountain. You go to home. It'll take you a while to get home. You're not going to get there until after the sun has set, because it takes all the time to do everything, and then walking when it gets darker just slows your pace because you got the two humans with their human eyeballs. They can't see at night. The two of you are fine, but these whatevers.
We don't see signs of goblins on our journey.
Nope, no signs of goblins.
Okay.
But you do get back to town in the evening.
On the way, before we get back to town, I ask Riven, where was that place that you saw those strange flowers?
Not too far out of town, like, actually not too far away from where we entered the mesa.
Okay, on our next patrol, I'd like us to investigate that area.
Yeah, absolutely. things might have. Well, you haven't seen it, but maybe it's progressed since the last time I saw it with everything that's happening. Might be more clear what's going on now.
With what has been going on, I don't think anything is worth not investigating.
I agree. Yeah, well, we can head out in the morning. I say as I see the town in the distance as we're having this conversation. I think my heart sinks a little bit remembering what's happened.
No mom to go home back to.
Mother's died, yeah.
I asked Riven, we have a spare bedroom in the town house. If you'd like to come stay with me, I know your house was destroyed. You would be welcome there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on. I'm sure my mom will have dinner ready.
Neil,
thank you.
Did Richard survive?
Old man Richard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The house is fine that he stayed in and stuff?
Yeah. This place is fine. And Cedric came and patched the leak in the roof and everything. It's going great.
But that was old man Richard.
Just going back to that conversation though. I just want to say, you sure your mum won't mind? I always felt like she never liked me.
I give Riven a kind of wink. I say, I'm the overseer. I'm in charge. She can stuff it.
Yeah, as long as you're sure.
It's fine. I'm sure I can twist her arm for a bit of solidarity with someone who's lost their home.
Thanks, Zephyr. It means a lot.
Not at all. You've proven yourself being someone worth sticking my neck out for. I'll put my hand on your arm and give it a little friendly squeeze.
That's nice. Okay.
Old man Richard is the person that Elijah's staying with. There's a tavern in Aknara, but there's no inn. And old man Richard gets a little bit of money for putting up Elijah, who's the foreigner. And, he's got an old house, and sometimes you go by to help him with things. In Elijah's backstory, you made a slight cameo about fixing his house.
Oh, good. Well, I'm that kind of guy.
He asked Elijah to do it, but Elijah found a reason not to. Well, we can get back to the village in the nighttime, in the evening time. People are beginning to settle down. Does the party immediately break up, or?
Well, I'm sticking with Zephyr, so I don't.
I think I gotta go home.
I invite the party to go to the tavern for a drink after the patrol.
It's been a long day. I'll go. I guess.
You don't have to come though. You can head home.
Yeah,
Cedric.
Mom and Dad are probably worried. They haven't seen me all day, and I got shit to do.
Okay.
I'll hit you
Head
guys
home.
next time.
It's no problem.
See you around, Cedric.
I'll see you guys.
I also have to see the mayor, actually, now that I think of it.
Hey, Zephyr, so I know you gave me, a bunch of tasks, administrative work, and, I'm not saying I can't, obviously I'm gonna work on it, but just, we've been out, and my hip has been, I think I'm gonna need just a little bit more time to, get some of those lists that you requested and some of the, right?
I understand. It's been 2 days, and we're under we're short on hands, so we've been making you pull double shifts both on patrols and on the administration side. But look, just do what you can to help. That's what this town needs. It needs people who are helping.
Right,
If you can help the town, Elijah, that's all we need.
Right. And to that point, I was just thinking that, because we've been out now, we kind of have been, doing a whole job together, right? And since I don't want to, let those other responsibilities that you gave me fall to the side, right? I was thinking I actually have a list of people that I think would be great at that I could delegate some of those tasks to temporarily, right? To make sure that they get done and still be on the up and up on everything while we are out here investigating this whole, goblin thing. I was wondering if that would be okay.
Let's why don't you come with me to the mayor? We'll discuss it with him, and I'll get his opinion because he knows the skills of the people of the town when it comes to administration tasks better than
the
me.
mayor, right? So just because I'm confused here, just so I'm clear, the mayor is no longer in charge, right?
The mayor is no longer directly in charge of the defense of this town. However, he is still an important partner in protecting the legacy of the Pharaoh Empire. And should we fail to engage with him, and make use of his valuable resources, his knowledge, his information, and the things that he knows, we will fail to keep this town safe.
Right. Yeah, of course. Got to keep him in the loop, right? I'm just saying, like, if he just like if there was a conflict of decision between what he wanted in this case and what you wanted in this case, we would obviously go with what you wanted, right?
In the case of, and I'm racking my brain for like how the division of powers works here. In matters of diplomacy and intelligence, he would outrank me, but in the matters of defense and maintenance, I would outrank him.
Good. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. That's good to know. Okay. Yeah. Then we can talk to the mayor. We can see. Just because I just don't want these things to. I just want to make sure they get done.
Absolutely. The mayor is an ally, not an enemy. So, making use
Right.
of his skills and knowledge will be useful.
No, of course.
And I turn to. Why can I never remember Nick's name? Riven.
Riven?
And I say, well, I'm afraid we might have to skip getting a drink, but you can come along if you like, and then I'll bring you home.
Yeah, sure, if that's okay.
All right. And we go looking for the mayor because the town hall has been obliterated.
All right. So you drop off Cedric at his house, or you part ways just before that, and the three of you head to the mayor's place.
We stop by the tavern to see if anybody knows where he is, what's happening, any news.
Oh, yeah, sure. You stop by the tavern first. Not a problem. You get in there. It's kind of
Does
quiet.
anyone know where the mayor is? Like, the town hall's gone?
Well,
What's
you
going
step
on?
in, and everyone gets real quiet and turns to look at you. There's maybe 50 people in here today, and there's still some chattering and some moving of cups and glasses and silverware clinking on plates, but most people just kind of turn to look at the three of you as you walk in.
Very
And
much
hush
at
falls
first.
over the room.
I'm going to do, I assume, with my extremely high knowledge of people and my extremely good charisma check, they're looking at me expectantly. They want some sort of update, or are they looking at me? I would like to interpret what are the
Yeah.
expressions telling me?
Well, roll me a charisma check.
All right, here you go. Boom. 24.
There is a little bit of like hesitation. Like people are looking at you like, what does it mean that Zephyr is walking into this room? How like
Is
If
bad
you're-
news
if-
about to be dropped?
Is bad news about to be dropped? Is something about to change? There's a little bit of tension. There's a little bit of worry. And there's just a little bit of just like, I think this might need my attention and I should probably just stop what I'm doing to see what's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. I take a posture of at ease, and I give a very simple update. I say, no major news. We dispatched more goblins today. No casualties, no losses. Nothing to report. Back to your drinks and to the Farron Empire. I like do a little.
Yeah, people begin to slowly turn back to this, that, or the other thing when coming through the crowd is Mayor Bromit. And he walks up to you with Elijah and Riven.
Well,
Well,
Gromit, thank goodness you've made it back, and in one piece, I hope.
One piece, yes. More than I can say for the town hall. He immediately turns
Yeah.
to Riven. Riven, I heard about your mother. I'm very sorry.
Thanks. That means a lot, Mad Bromit. It's awful what happened. It's not just her, It's
Oh,
the
I
whole
know.
town here.
Yeah. Where's Cedric? I hear he was also touched by Martha.
He
There's
was
like a
with
hesitation.
us, but we've been out adventuring for the last few days, so I think he's gone to see his family.
Cedric has returned
Nods.
home. He said he had things to take care of.
I have shit to do.
We came looking for you. We wanted to update you on the status. And we also wanted to get an update from you. What have you heard? What have you learnt on your latest journey?
I just got back. I'll be happy to debrief with you a little bit later. I did have some questions about the gate and the gaping hole. And have there been any visitors?
I've been out of the town for the last day, so I haven't been able to get updates on visitors from the rest of the wardens. But I do know that we have unwelcome guests on the island in the form of some kind of strange goblin creatures that, when attacked and killed, disappear into some sort of smoke. And as far as I'm aware, there are no local legends or knowledge that speaks of these creatures. I've racked my brains for all the secrets I was told, and I can't find a single one that marks this. The only thing we got was from Cedric's knowledge of ancient times when gods have come from the heavens. Is that, yeah.
Well, I want to survey the damage in the daylight and get talking to you about plans. I have a lot of concerns, but they can wait till morning, I think.
Alrighty. I'll meet you
Is it-
shortly after dawn.
He pauses. I've heard that you, two of your wardens, and Mr. Evans here are
Right, Mr. Evans. Yes, that's me.
he kind of puts up his hands like I'm not sure how to describe it. What happened to you?
It is something both truly awe-inspiring and somehow yet horrifying. The gods landed where we stood, and everyone around us was, for lack of a better word, vaporized, disintegrated,
Obliterated.
emulsified, obliterated.
Yeah.
And we were left standing, and each of us found ourselves infused with some sort of magical ability. I believe that the work of Malchus is at play here, and he has infested us with his magic to whatever
Ymir
ends he sees.
Approaches you and like as you're talking, like reaches out to put a hand on your shoulder just to be like, is this person real? Like taps you on the shoulder and then gives it like a bit of a squeeze to be like, okay, still solid. They say Cedric can heal the injured now?
As can I, although Cedric seems to be more proficient at it. I don't fully understand all of the abilities that we've been given, but we do have a variety of them.
He
I'll
looks to
have
Elijah, and you
Elijah draw up a report.
fire springs from your
Right,
fingers.
I'll get on that fucking guy.
Then he looks to Riven, and you levitate rocks?
It seems so. Yeah, although I'm not sure I fully understand it yet.
He looks back to Elijah. Well, buddy, you're one of us now. Like it or not.
Right. No, happy to be, sir. Of course. I mean, like, honestly, I've always, if you think about it, I always have kind of been one of you, right? With my mother and all, and me, and the ring and everything. Never really left in spirit, right? Once a warden, always a warden.
Good.
That do be true.
Well, I'll
Matt-
speak with you. Yes,
Mayor
Riven?
Bromit. Well, I just want to say how nice it was to hear your condolences, and I wondered if you'd had a chance to go around the rest of the town and speak to the other families that had lost people.
I had. Yes.
Good. Is everyone handling it okay, or is there anyone in particular struggling?
You know, when people die, when there are accidents, there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions about who and why. Some people are wondering how it is that you came away better than ever, while someone else's child or husband or parent lies dead. But I think that's to
Obviously.
be expected.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, you know, if there's some families in particular that are struggling, let me know and I'll go and speak to them.
I don't know if they would want to talk to you. You know what I mean? I think those that are struggling might need some space.
My mother died as well. I'm friends with everyone on the island. Obviously, I won't force it on them, but maybe it would help. You know best, but I'd like to grieve with someone in a similar situation if possible.
Well, you should go talk to Henry and Henrietta Law over on the west side of town, the goat herders.
Yeah, no, I know.
They
I know
lost-
Henrietta well.
They lost both of their kids, and they're not taking it too well. They were
Both?
in the
Little Timmy and little Jimmy?
they were at the horticultural society, playing in the backyard when the rocks came down.
Oh.
Yeah.
I stop the conversation there.
Yeah, the rest of the room, which has been kind of picking back up, but also kind of quiet, drops down to another quiet low point. And the mayor says, I think we're really bringing the vibe down around here. We should,
The vibes.
we should
man,
probably
the
go.
vibes.
And the mayor walks out without another word.
I force a smile at the party.
I think it's time for sleep.
Elijah's
Like we-
stuck thinking about the fucking paperwork that you just put on him.
God damn it. Give me those.
It's a lot of paperwork,
secret
too.
reports.
No.
We'll get it done, Elijah. I see. I think I could use a cup of tea, a meal, and a sleep.
A cuppa?
Cuppa.
I could do with a cup of tea.
Could do it a cuppa. I had a cuppa before. I head home unless someone else interrupts me and makes me continue this long and difficult day.
No, I go with Zephyr.
Yeah, I give him. We find him a bed in the house. I hope. Wait, I come home. Mother, Mama. I
Zephyr?
returned.
I stay outside the threshold of the house.
Mother, Riven lost their home, and so I saw fit to invite them in to give them a spare bedroom. I turn and I wave Riven into the house.
I walk in sheepishly,
Um,
with like my hands clasped behind my back, try and minimize myself.
it.
Hello,
I don't know how
Mrs.
long it will
Shepherd.
be for, but good neighbors open their doors to good neighbors.
Martha, that's Zephyr's mother, looks to you, Riven, and says, "You poor thing. All alone now in the world, aren't you?"
Jesus.
Well, I still have family in the forest, I think.
Well, come on in. It's times like these that we need to band together, and if your commander, your overseer, she says, like using the old word for just a moment, wants to invite you in, it would be your duty to accept.
Thank you, Zephyr. Thanks, Mrs. Shepherd. I appreciate that. I come in. I look around that house, Neil. Do I see any elven trinkets and things in the house?
Not
Already
a one.
pickpocketing.
Not a single one.
Not a one. It's a human household through and through.
Okay. Well, I don't obviously say anything, but
Yeah.
I walk in, I look around, and then I say quietly to Zephyr, "Where's my room?"
I give a sigh and I'm like, I'll show you. Mother, is there any food? I yell as I walk.
Tendies.
Where are my tendies, Mom? I walk. I assume we have a spare room. Do we have a spare room? Am I bunking? Are we bunking? What's happening here?
Let's see.
bunking?
On the map, bunking. Like bunk beds.
I have younger siblings, right? I kick one of them out of their bedroom.
Base.
I thought I had
You have 2 half siblings younger and 2 step siblings older. Yeah, so there's 4 other kids in here.
I make the kids share a room.
Were you the favorite?
I was the
Clearly, yeah. Oh, are they all half elves as well, or are they humans?
just
no.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, because Zephyr's mom, Martha, remarried a Tor, who's a different dude, or I guess I should say married. So 2 half siblings with him, and then like his 2 kids from his first marriage who are older than Zephyr and don't live in the house anymore. So I guess there's 2 younger ones who live here.
If they have separate bedrooms and we don't have a spare.
No, they share a room together, and they can be kicked out into the living room, so you can give it to Zephyr or to Griffin.
Thank you.
Yep. There is food. There is some stew that's getting well, it's not cool, but it's just sitting on the fire, just continually heating. You can have that.
As we eat,
I speak to my younger step siblings and I thank them, or my
Yeah.
half siblings, and I thank them for giving up their bedroom.
I thank
I
them as well.
apologize for forcing this upon them.
No, they're
and
pretty
I give them-
excited.
I give them a couple of
didn't get
coppers.
They didn't get a chance to talk to you the previous days. Your mother had kept them at bay. And now, when you come in, thank them for leaving the room and then get ready to rest. Like, they bombard you in the way that younger siblings do with all sorts of questions about your magic. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you throw fireballs? Can you create meteor storms? Can you heal the sick? Can you resurrect the dead? Can you speak with the dead? What can you do? Tell me about your magic. And they're treating it like it's a game or some sort of fantastical story.
I start laughing and giggling with them. A little break from the tough days. And I say, I do have magic, and I cast Bless on one of them, which should be like an obvious thing. And I said, now you'll and I give it to the younger, weaker one, and I say, now you'll have the advantage in wrestling with your sibling.
Immediately, combat ensues between the 2 children. I think we can leave it here.
Wait, as the fighting's happening, I assume we're going to eat together before we go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
I say to Zephyr, just as we're eating, making small talk, I say, there's not much evidence around here of your father, Zephyr. I had all sorts of trinkets in our house.
So
Are you not connected to your elven side?
no,
It's a shame.
never met him. I don't know his name. And my mother... Well, I've asked, but she never really gave a direct answer.
Well, I know now more than ever that one day I'm going back to the forest and I'm going to meet my remaining family over there. And all the hospitality that you've shown me, I'm sure I'd like to return the favor there for you.
That'd be nice. I think it would be interesting to see what life would be like with people like us.
I finish my stew. I get up and I say, well, I'll leave you to catch up with your brothers and sisters. And then I go up to Zephyr and I sort of look awkwardly at her for a second and then I give her a hug and then I'll run off to my room.
Perfect. I give her... I awkwardly hug back after a second of surprise.
All right?
Okay. We're going to go to the next day when something else happens.
It's always something else.
There's never a moment of peace. Those of you who have been out and about our party, you haven't gotten great rest, and you were hungry, and you came back after dark, and I get the impression that you're probably going to sleep in. Like, you're not going to get up and roll out of bed the moment the sun rises. You might rest an extra hour or 2. So the events of the morning don't happen in front of you. You don't hear about this until after it's all over and done.
Wait, Zephyr did say she would get up at the crack of dawn
Oh, yeah, why were you doing that?
to go meet the mayor.
Right. Okay, so
Did I make it?
you were in
Contact
conversation with the mayor. Nice.
I woke up.
So you're hanging out with the mayor. Like you've shown up at his house. He sits you down. His wife comes out, has some tea for you, asks if you had breakfast. You start to sit down and talk about, well, how are we going to deal with this thing? And the mayor's in big favor of covering it up just like you. Like, let's put up some sort of facade, maybe like the mayor wants to build some sort of structure against the back of the mountain, maybe like a big temple to the gods. And that way there's like an explanation for why all of a sudden there's a large structure blocking the mountains, and people come to this village sometimes. It's going to be obvious if there's some sort of cover up. So we need a story for the cover up. And his story is like, let's build a new temple over there. And for the pit in the ground, like maybe we can just, make it look like it was a fire, like cover up that area and then spread word that the main building burned down and we're replacing it. Like that's his idea for a cover up. And it's while you're having this conversation that someone comes into the room. It's a young girl, maybe 15, 14 years old, barefoot, tattered little, worn dress that little kids would run around in, comes to the door and throws it open and goes, Mayor, you got to come down to the beach. There's been a killing. There's a murder. And the mayor,
killing?
Yeah, the mayor stands up immediately and looks to you. Says, "Go get your weapons." Looks to the kid. Janet, Janie, take me down. Show me what's going on. And the two of you are going to come down to the shore. Down near the town, if we can see a map of the village, there's this little beach down here. And this little beach is where boats can pull up and, put themselves. And it's down here that you're going to find a collection of people. A whole bunch of people gathered around. There's a small boat. There's a bunch of boats down here, but there's a small boat that's not from this village. And there's an older man lying dead on the beach. A bunch of people standing around looking at him.
Looking around. Do I see any of my wardens?
You do. You see a few others. The rest of the party will be arriving fairly soon because everyone's hearing about the murder as the word spreads through town, and everyone's going to come and take a look at it. You get here after going to pick up your weapons. The mayor is here first, and he already seems to have taken charge of the situation. He has the culprit in hand.
I fall in beside him and I pay attention to what's happening.
Yeah. There is a bloodied oar on the beach. That's clearly the weapon used in this murder. And the conversation as you arrive is that this man, old man, nope, that's not a good name. Old Man Handy is his name. He's a fisherman from a nearby village, the village of Breknar. Not on this island, it's a different island in Fiscat Lake. And he's come over here on his boat. And where you land on the water, it's right next to the giant crater, and you can easily see all of this stuff. And the mayor's talking with this other younger gentleman from Aknara, a guy named Bayo. And Bayo, clearly the murderer here, and the mayor's talking to him. And Bayo's saying, Mayor, he came, he saw the hole, he saw the gate, he started asking questions. I didn't know what to do. We couldn't let the secret get out, and so I hit him. I hit him with the oar hard, and I didn't mean to break his skull, but the mayor points to the dead man. Or Bayo points to the dead man. The mayor looks uncomfortable.
Mayor. He was acting in service of the defense of the town under my instruction.
He still killed someone. That's murder.
Under my orders.
He looks to you. And does that mean we should just kill every single person who shows up on these shores? I don't think you're thinking this through. We've got relations with the next island over. We all know, well, maybe not all of you, but I know Old Man Handy.
No, but what I'm saying is the responsibility for this event falls on my shoulders, not on this man's.
You may not wish that to be the case. If this is something we need to consider carefully. I think by now the other wardens have heard the news. You know, people are waking each other up, and the rest of the party can arrive.
Had I not instilled in the town the importance of keeping the events that have transpired here secret, there's no... This would not have happened. I take full responsibility for this.
Well, then you have seriously fucked up. Because if that old man doesn't go home, people are going to come looking for him. All you've done is draw more attention. Now we got to explain why he's dead. Or what?
We do.
We're just going to cover this up as well? Say that he didn't arrive here? That he just went missing out on the lake?
I think...
What if he had information? What if he saw something? He turns to the younger man. Did you even question him? Did you find out if there had been anything happening over there? There's goblins running around our island. What if there were goblins running around his island? Did you not think this through? This man could have been a source of information. You can't just solve everything with violence immediately. That cuts off options. We need
You're right.
to know.
You're right. This is regrettable, and it's not how things should have gone on. Were it me, were I informed and were I making the decisions, I would have told people to arrest him, and we would question him, and maybe hold him for a while before releasing him. But I wouldn't have given the direct order to kill him. But this happened because I made it so important for us to protect our secrets. In terms of our solutions, I think there are only two main paths that I see forward. Cover up and some sort of apology to his village. We either hide the truth or we create an alternative version of it.
Well, we may not have a large pile of written laws like the mainlanders, but killing people is still illegal. It's still wrong. He looks to the young man, to Bayo. It's still murder to beat an unarmed old man to death with an oar from his own boat. That's still murder. Whether or not the overseer told you to do it, you're no warden. That man wasn't armed. I think the only way to solve this is with an ordinary trial. And he looks to you. And you, overseer, you might normally be pulled in as jury member on something like this, but you're too close to this.
You're right. I agree. I would make it known that if we're going to do a trial, then we should do it right. And I agree.
Mm-hmm. Come on. And he grabs the guy by the collar and begins to haul him back into town. Someone says, "What do you do with the boat? What do you do with the body?" And the mayor just yells over his shoulder, "Bury him in the graveyard. Treat him with respect. I don't know what you want to do with the boat."
I think what I'll say is we will return the boat to his people when there is time and energy, or if anyone comes looking for him.
Someone will drag it up the beach then.
Yeah.
Well, party.
Explain that he died due to some great misunderstanding or accident. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. The party can gather together now. It is what, day 4 since the gods have come down to the earth? Day 3? 3 days since? Day 4?
Should be the 11th? No.
13th?
13th? Yes. I turn to the party and the warden's in front of us and says, "My speeches and actions have had unintended consequences. A man is dead, not from the actions of the gods or from the land, but because of the things I told people to do. because of the flames that I stoked. Killing is not something that I relish in. It's not something I've ever done before. It's not something I ever want done again. And I regret what has happened here today.
If you've got a crime, Zephyr, it's only in being naive. You weren't to know that this would happen. We've all learned a lot in these last few days, and this surely won't be the last thing we learn. Don't be too hard on yourself.
The responsibility falls to me. The man
Of
is
course. I agree, but I'm saying, you didn't know.
Why did he kill him?
dead. The guy was asking questions, and we had instructed everyone to cover it up. Can't get out. Honestly, it's probably a mercy for us that that boy killed him. It means our job is less complicated in keeping the secrets. Even if it is incredibly regrettable. It makes our lives simpler and complicated, but in different ways. Look.
Perhaps, Zephyr, you should write a letter to his family.
I will.
Perhaps you should write a letter to the jury.
And I'll write a letter to the jury, I'll write a letter to his family. But it's all going to be dependent on how things work out. If we're covering things up, it'll be a very different letter. If we're telling the truth, it'll be a very different letter. I'll take the mayor's guidance on this point. He's the diplomat. And you can see it kind of paining Zephyr to say this. He's in charge when it comes to those matters. Diplomacy is his domain. Mine is in defense.
And to be fair, as the person in charge of diplomacy, I feel like a non-trivial amount of blame should be with the person who is in charge of the diplomacy in this situation, don't you think? I mean, sure, there's mistakes made on many sides here, and there's a lot of, but in the end, like, this is an issue of diplomacy, and the mayor, like you said, is in charge of that.
He
right?
didn't disagree with your message when you sent it out.
No, he didn't. He didn't fight back with me. Nobody did. I thought we were all aligned, but I see I need to be more careful with my words.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
No, I don't think I did anything wrong. In fact, I think
No, I don't think he did anything wrong.
the mayor, the
The guy who
mayor's done
protected
many
the
things
island.
wrong.
Bayo.
Bayo.
Do you believe that truly? Then will you stand for him in trial?
I nod.
All right. Does anyone else believe that that man did nothing wrong in killing him to protect our town?
I stay silent.
I mean, do something wrong, not do something wrong. Like, what even? I mean, what are we talking about here? This is all. I feel like this is just a misunderstanding, if anything. Right, guys?
The secrets of this town and its people must be defended.
It falls to all of us, though, not just the overseers.
You're right. And that man took up that oar in service of this village. If anything, he should be promoted to warden for the courage and bravery he showed.
Here's what I think, Zephyr, is it's true, we need to protect the town. We need to keep the existence of the door secret. But people saw what happened. They saw the comets land here. There's going to be questions. Our defense can't just be silence. We need a story.
Correct, but this man bought us some time.
I agree.
Concoct that.
But going forward, we need a story. We need a different answer to this problem.
Agreed.
And I mean, the comments coming down, like, I know I'm like the new guy here and defending the island, but like, how is that? That's not our fault, right? We still have a right to keep the secrets on the island, no matter how many comments come down around here. Sure, more people are gonna come, but like this, we've always been. People know, right? That like we defend this island. It's not like anyone before the comments came. It's not like everyone just kind of walked in and out of here willy nilly, right?
No, you're
That's
right.
true. But people
But-
weren't beaten to death for asking questions on the docks.
That's true too. We can't hold the world out with at oar's length. You know, we got to be a little bit more diplomatic. But I think you all make good points. As for what we tell the outer world, the Armator told me that the best lies have grains of excuse me. The best lies have grains of truth in them. And the truth is, the gods landed, destroyed part of the town, killed a bunch of people, and then disappeared.
That's true.
That's what happened.
Right.
We never saw
Yeah,
anything
That's
else
what
of them.
happened. Yeah. Nothing wrong with saying that.
Nobody needs to know that we have magical powers or that a door appeared. As far as I'm concerned,
Right.
those are the only two things we need to keep secret.
Oh, absolutely agree. And like we don't I mean listen guys, I don't think we need to be beating anyone to death personally. I not like a good thing probably, right? But like also things are happening around here. Things are changing. There's comets and destruction and houses are going down. Nobody knows what's going on. These things happen. It's breakage, you know? Like these are times of trouble and we still got to do our jobs and at the end of the day, like what are you going to do, right?
I think what
You're right.
Elijah is trying to say is that Bayo, was that his name, Neil? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This is a time of change. So things are very confusing. Crazy things are happening. Bayo may have acted rashly, and that's understandable, given the circumstances and given what you said as well, Zephyr. So I think the lesson to be learnt here is that the town shouldn't be too harsh on Bayo.
I agree.
Well, by now, the beachfront is pretty crowded. There's a lot of people down here. Basically, the whole town is down here. And while Bayo has been led away, the mayor has been working pretty quickly. He wants to get this trial over fast. He's already grabbed 6 people from the village to serve as jurors and has started it in the town square. And you can tell this because the crowd that's been gathering around the beach all of a sudden starts getting pulled away, and your conversation gets interrupted by the flow of the crowd as everyone starts moving off in that direction, and someone, taps Zephyr on the shoulder and says that they're starting the trial already.
All right. Let's go save
Shall
a
we
man's
go?
life.
Zephyr, listen, I'm just saying a man acts rashly and
I make my
out
way
of
to the trial.
bounds.
As
as
Elijah,
we're walking, I'll say,
chats at me.
you should promote him.
I put a hand on Elijah's shoulder and I say, I'm sure you're making a really good point, Elijah. He's really busy though. No, she's really busy though.
Right now, of course.
Come on, do you want to go watch the trial with me?
I would love nothing more.
Let's go.
I make my way to Bayo. I assume
Bayo
he does,
is held presently. He's by the mayor,
I have a
sequestered away from everyone else. There's 6 people
does he
standing
have a
by.
defender? Like a lawyer in this system? Does he have an advocate?
You are allowed to have someone speak on your behalf as your advocate. He doesn't seem to have one right now. As the crowd is gathering, if we look at the map, I'm going to just make a couple of lines. This little arch in the town square is sort of the cleared area where we're going to put our jury and our accused, and the mayor is going to stand as judge in the situation. And right now, Bayo is just standing near the mayor. Everyone else is sort of kept at bay, not by any actual force, not by any spears, but everyone's just kind of standing back appropriately because it's a civil society, giving them space. There are 6 people who have been pulled as judges, including the armator, the local cleric, and then 4 other randoms. And they're
You
all
said you couldn't
standing
be-
over here.
He said you couldn't be on the jury, but you could be his advocate.
That's right. I speak to Bayo. Bayo, I would like to be your advocate.
The mayor kind of steps in. What's going on over here? Hold on, we're still organizing things. If you got anything to say to the accused, you can talk to me.
I wish to speak on Bayo's behalf as his advocate.
Fine.
Gasps.
All right, I wait until the trial begins.
Yeah.
I assume the appropriate position for the advocate of the accused.
Sure. Trial here is a when we say the word trial, we imagine a courtroom with lawyers and proper procedures and like a little bit of infrastructure and recorders and like a sheriff nearby to keep That's not what we have here. This is a small village. The trial is essentially, there are probably
argument.
some level of traditions, but it is just going to be an open discussion, and then 6 people will make a decision at the end of it in full witness of the entire crowd. The mayor makes some signs to slow everything down, to get people to quiet down a little bit.
Is it an
And,
all or none, or is it like majority? For like the decision?
it needs to be a unanimous decision is the rule. Sometimes these rules get bent, right? We live in a society with laws, but also it's not, these laws aren't written down. You don't have a book that you can go to, so they do get bent. The crowd comes to a hush, not entirely quiet, but near to it. And the mayor will step forward and say, "Ladies, gentlemen, ladies of Aknara, we have a serious problem before us. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. Things are changing. The end of this time is coming. And how we deal with the murder that happened this morning will affect how we approach everything in the future." There's no doubt that young man Bayo here has killed the older gentleman from another island. That's without a doubt. The question is, are his actions justifiable considering the chaos that has happened? I think anytime you enter a period of chaos and change, it's tempting to throw the rules out the window. It's tempting to say, these are extraordinary events. We can change the laws of society to reflect that. I think that's a bad idea. I think if we start chucking rules just because they're inconvenient for the time, we become a lawless society that encourages people to create chaos so that they can ignore the laws of the land. If murder's allowed sometimes, then murders will be easy to justify. He looks around. Well, I think he's a killer. I think he acted in fear. And I think he should be punished accordingly. And then he points to Zephyr. The overseer has asked to act as counsel to the accused. Zephyr, why don't you do your thing?
Okay. I make my way to I assume there's a place where you stand when you're addressing the jury and
you
the
can
crowd.
Just stand in the middle of the opening and project your voice.
Standing before you is a man accused of murder. A murder that he acted out on my command. I am the commander. I am the overseer. I work with the wardens to protect this town. I keep it safe. These are difficult and changing times. As the mayor pointed out, it is wrong to discard all of your laws and traditions and norms when times of great change are upon you. Our laws, norms, traditions, and culture is what separates us from the beasts. And if we get rid of them all, what are we but beasts? But the other thing that separates us from beasts is our love of one another and our protection of one another. This man did not act out of fear. He acted out of a sense of duty to the people of this town, to the people who hold on to a legacy that is thousands of years old. if he had not done what was needed to be done, to kill someone that endangered our town, who knows how many people would be breathing down our necks. The Empire of Arasi could be here within days, demanding answers, torturing, killing, burning, setting up garrisons and encampments. I take no pleasure in the death of a man, but make no mistake, it was an act of war to kill that man. And killing a man in a war is not a murder. It is justified.
The mayor steps forward. Bayo, what was happening when the moment you struck him? What was going on? Bayo says, well, he had been asking questions. He asked what the gate was. I told him I didn't know. And then he started saying, well, it looks like there's been a lot of things happening here. Oh my God, is the town hall destroyed? And that's, he was distracted, and I picked up the oar and smacked him at that point. The mayor will say, so you're telling me he wasn't running away? He wasn't trying to get in his boat and escape? Well, no, he was just asking, but he was asking the right questions. He was asking about the gate and about the crater. He had earlier asked if we had seen the comet descend and where it landed, and he was putting it together, and the mayor will respond, but if you hadn't struck him at that moment, he wouldn't have immediately shared that story with other people. No, he was going to go, though. He wasn't going to stick around. He doesn't live here. He was going to go back home. The mayor looks to you, Zephyr, and says, so in this moment when the man was killed, he wasn't actually risking anything. Had he died then, or 10 minutes later, or an hour later, would have been the same. Right?
Possibly. It cannot be known for certain.
But we can safely say that the old man could have been kept from leaving. Could have been, if we have the oar, we could just take his oar. We can't really go anywhere with that.
I believe Bayor actually did not intend to kill the man. He intended to incapacitate him and
still killing.
A justified act in the defense of the town with an unfortunate consequence.
I think that action could have waited. Could have been taken by a more appropriate person. The old man could have been brought to me or to you. Hey, do you know what's happening on Old Man Handy's home island? Do you know what's going on over there? Bayo says, no. But he was in a hurry when he got here. I mean, I got down to the beach at first light, and he was already showing up. And the mayor says, isn't that strange? He was arriving at first light by boat. Doesn't that mean he was out at sea or on the lake all night long? And Bayo says, well, I don't know. He could have... Shouldn't we have asked why he was here at first light? Aren't you denying us information about other things? Haven't you actually weakened the town's position by creating a death without gathering any information about what's going on? As Zephyr says, the secrets are the most important thing. They override everything. They're more important than any one of us. I think everyone here would gladly lay down their lives.
Bayer is correct, and in fact, so proud of him, of his act in defense of this town, that I would like to promote him to warden of the town in the wake of his outstanding service. And in addition, I would also like to make a call for more replacement wardens. Our numbers have dwindled as a result of the disappearance of 4 of our brothers. I need 3 more people. Bayor did what any good person of our town would do. to protect us. Did what anyone would do in a situation where they didn't know what to do, but they were afraid that their friends and family could die or be killed. And make no mistake, that is what is facing us if information about what has transpired here goes down.
You hear a yell
As far-
come up from the crowd. It's us versus them.
As far as anyone needs to know, the gods landed here, killed a bunch of people, and left. And we have no idea what happened. That's all that happened here. And if anything else but that gets out, thousands of years of our people, our grandfathers, our ancestors, everything they did will be eradicated and wiped out overnight. We have a chance
I don't
here.
disagree with you, but it wasn't Bayo's job and it wasn't his right to end this man's life when he did. That should have been a group decision. That power belongs to me. That power belongs to you. It's not to be taken by anyone just because they decide it needs to be done so. What happens if one of your wardens thinks that you've made a bad call? Should they kill you?
Depends on how bad the call is.
There are some murmurs and gasps that will roll through the crowd at that point. And the
If I
mayor will
make a
say,
call to execute half of the town, I would expect any one of them to take out their blade and end me rightly.
Cedric!
If I made the call to kill every man, woman, and child in this town, I would expect Elijah, the outsider, to draw his blade and end me, as I've seen him end dozens of enemies that encircle the town even as we speak.
There's a
Elijah
lot of
looks up from his paperwork like, the fuck you, what do you say fuck me for?
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about, this out-of-town Elijah guy who no one has any respect for, has, killed dozens of people all of a sudden. And the mayor's like,
Dozens
hold on,
of
everybody.
creatures, dozens
Do not
of
get
creatures that
distracted.
harangued the town.
We're
I point at the hill
for a
behind us.
murder.
Who among you saw the flames on the hill yesterday?
Does this have any relevance to
It
the
does.
actions that happened here? Fine,
We are at
people-
war. This is not a normal court. This needs to be a war court. We need to think about battle and members. We cannot lock up or kill one of our own when we're at the precipice of destruction. We need every hand we can get.
It's
Cedric,
true. We've been
where's
fighting
Cedric?
goblins. I'd step up.
Cedric, you're generally regarded as a stable man with good promise. You have been cursed or blessed by the gods, your interpretation. They say you can heal. If you had seen an old man arriving on the shore asking some questions, do you think the right decision would be to end his life immediately?
I would not have ended his life immediately.
Thank you.
However, I do think that if the old man would have went for the ore to leave, I would have ended his life. Now, has anybody asked the question to the guy up there if he intended to kill him, or was he trying to knock him out with the ore?
I didn't mean to kill him. It was an accident. I was just trying to, I had to stop him before he found out too much.
Well, there you go. It was an accident.
If you get into a bar fight with someone and you punch them too hard and they slip and hit their head on a corner of a table and they die, you're still responsible for their death. Just because it's an accident doesn't make it okay.
But it should be weighed accordingly.
It should
Yes.
be weighed accordingly. I echo Cedric's words.
Mayor nods. Well, out-of-towner, Mr. Evan, who's apparently killing dozens of creatures without us knowing. Would you step forward? You
Yes,
come from a civilized place, he says, just talking over you immediately. Justar's Bay, where they have real traditions and courtrooms and appointed judges and all sorts of things, and where Varasi rules the empire of death and destruction. Do you think
Yes?
it's right to murder an old man, to kill an old man for asking questions right away?
Well, honorable ladies and gentlemen of the honorable court, if it is so to be said that the question that you have posed to me, I wish to clarify
1,000 people watch you as you stumble.
that the question of whether or not a man may
He's
Well,
useless! Why's the out-of-towner speaking?
I think what Elijah is trying to say. I say it again to calm the crowd, is that we don't have the time to be running trials. Already people are arriving to investigate what has happened.
We can spare a few hours, says the mayor.
Can we? People of ours are dead, missing.
I think the
And it
moment
happened
we
in
say
moments.
that we can throw the laws out and there's no time for trials, we have fallen very, very far.
I'm not saying that there is no time for trials. I'm saying that now is not the right time to judge this man.
Oh? Are we better judging him tomorrow or next week or next year? Why not now, while it's still fresh in our minds? What we decide here will shape our policies on how we interact with the outside world going forward. I am the mayor.
Because
It is
every hour
my
we make-
job to run foreign policy. It's your
Because
job to
every
keep us
hour
safe.
that we waste might be the difference between the town being here tomorrow or not being here tomorrow.
How? How will 1 hour destroy the town tomorrow?
We
Zephyr,
face unknowable
you're
threats.
also touched by the gods, he says, talking over you.
Riven, you mean?
Riven, other half elf, get over here.
I
We
stand
face
up and walk up
unknowable
to the
threats.
stage. I rub Elijah's back a little bit as I get onto the stage.
Thank you, honorable ladies and gentlemen of the court. Thank you.
Zephyr, another touched
yes,
by
Mayor.
the Riven, sorry, another touched by the gods figure, another warden. Would you kill your overseer if they acted improperly? If they said there's no time for trials, would you strike your overseer down immediately without question?
I look over at Zephyr, and then I look back to the mayor, and I say, she did just say that, and no, I wouldn't.
Well, if your overseer did something questionable, what would you do?
I think, Mayor, what's important to recognize here, and you just said it yourself, Zephyr was in charge of protecting the town, and her argument here speaks to that duty. And your goal is foreign policy and diplomacy, and your argument here speaks to that need as well. You want to make sure that our reputation is upheld and that visitors to our island remain safe. And I think another thing to consider, as well as perhaps Bio's actions here being accidental, another factor to consider is the circumstance. This is not a normal day. Tensions are high. People aren't thinking straight. Lots
Is
and lots of
murder
things have
acceptable
changed.
on days where tensions are high? Does that change anything?
It's not acceptable, but you don't have to be too learned of a scholar to understand that context makes a big difference. If I kill a man in self-defense, is that murder? He's still dead at the end of the day.
Wouldn't it have been more correct to bring the old man up for questioning, to have a group discussion, to let the appropriate people make the decisions?
Of course, that would have
Clearly.
been better, but that's not the world that we live in. We live in the world where a man made a decision, made a snap decision, and we as a people need to either stand behind him or against him.
snap
Clearly-
decision that ended a life, a decision that was not his to make, a decision that has deep implications for the rest of us. This man has created more danger than he has averted.
I would
Clearly,
disagree on that front.
I'm not in a position to make these calls of judgment. You're both in your positions because of your unique skill set, and I wouldn't try and make those decisions for you. What I would say is you're both correct in that what happens here today in this trial is incredibly important for the future of our town. And if we go too far in either direction, if we were to hand out the harshest punishment to Bayer, or if we were to let him go free, then I think there would be negative reactions to both. I think
So
what
what
we
do you
should do
suggest?
is, I suggest that we consider the context. His actions were accidental. The circumstances around it were clouded with uncertainty and confusion. And also, the town here itself is in a state of disarray and confusion, and frankly, we're all scared. I think what all of this calls for is a moderate approach to sentencing here. Perhaps give Bayo some time in the cells to reflect on what he has done. Let's not do anything too drastic, one way or another.
Moderation in times of crisis will lead us to despair and ruin and failure. The only way
Step
forward
back.
is in unity. I will accept a compromise, but I do not think it is the right move. Bayer should be treated as someone who made an accidental killing in aggravated circumstances. No worse than that can I possibly accept as the defender of this town. If it were up to me, I would let him walk free, and I would counsel the town against future actions of a similar nature.
Where is Cassia? Where's the armator? Someone will make room. Cassia, the 240-year-old half-elf, shuffles forward. Her voice is not as strong as it used to be. The mayor says, Cassia, you are here as our advisor, our wise woman. You've seen more than anyone here, save... He looks to Riven, and he stops, remembering that your mom is dead. Do you have any sage wisdom in this time? And the armator, doing her best to project, but really, the whole crowd has to go quiet to hear anything that she says. She'll speak up and say, this village has stood for 3,000 years. In that time, much has happened. Enemies have come and gone. The last 1,500 years, since the start of the last age, have been quiet. But if we had ever broken with who we are or what we do in that time, everything could have fallen apart. The most important thing is stability. The secrets we guard here are more important than any of our individual lives. There is doing the right thing in the moment. There's doing the right thing in the long run. Those don't always match up. I think the young man did what he thought he needed to do. We're talking about the laws of man. We're talking about murder versus self-defense versus homicide. I think it's quite clear he's a murderer. Panicked as it may be, but it's still killing. I think our position in the world as protectors of the world's greatest weapon outweighs concepts like murder. I think if we had, as a team, or the mayor had decided that the old man needed to die to protect the fortress, that would be within our ancestral duty. But I don't think... I think it's right to protect the fortress. I think it's wrong for each of us to individually become the deciders of life and death. I think there are no good answers here.
May I propose a solution, Mayor?
Mayor nods.
We find him guilty of killing, but not murder. Similar to negligence, but not intentional killing.
I think it's pretty clear it wasn't intentional.
Manslaughter charges.
And we issue him the appropriate punishments for such a charge, in addition to service to the town in the form of working with the wardens.
Mayor looks over. Armator Cassia, when was the last time a crime of this magnitude has been committed on these islands? On this island? When was the last time we've had a murder or a killing? And Cassia thinks for a moment, says, it's been 110 years. Last time I was middle-aged. It was a fight at the Goblin's Goblet. I think it was a disagreement over the number of sheep in a pen. Someone had made a wager. Another person had gone out to count. Things got heated. Someone died. That was the last time. Finally, a hand goes up. It is the mother of Bayo. She'll kind of step forward through the crowd and say, everyone, hi, I'm Shell. I'm Bayo's mother, as you all know. We all heard the Overseer's speech a couple days ago. We all saw the horrors that happened. Bodies vaporized, rock slides, families killed. The gods came here. Malchus came here for a reason. I was there. I was standing near the town hall. I heard Martha, the goddess of life and creation, say to Malchus to wipe our minds, to make us forget everything that had happened. I saw him wink at the town, at all of us. He looked directly at me as he winked, and then told Martha, lied to Martha, that it had been done. I think it's the divine will of Malchus, god of humans, she says, emphasizing that, to protect things here. I think it's important. He wiped our minds so that we would know what happened and so that we would be able to hide this. I think it's divine will that we protect this place. And I think my son has done what the rest of you cowards would have been too afraid to do, would have been too afraid to pick up arms and make an important decision. We could get lost in days or weeks or months of argument about what is right and what is wrong and how people should and should not behave, and the whole time we would have kept the old man here. And then what? Say we had sentenced him to death for knowing something that he shouldn't know. Who would have done that? Which among you would have stepped up to cut him off? She points at you. Zephyr, you're the overseer. Would you have chopped off that man's head yourself? Easily? You've never killed anyone before. You've never even been in combat before. My son was brave. He has absolved you all having to make a difficult decision, and now you want to sit and judge him? Then she quietly steps back.
I have seen combat in the name of this town. I have fought murderous goblin beasts the last 3 nights. Your son did a brave thing and protected our town. But the mayor is right. He acted out of the chain of command. He acted unilaterally. That is something we can't make it standard. We have survived because we worked together. We break bread together. We love each other. We stand together. We cannot survive the coming crisis if we have division between us. We have to be united.
Hear, hear, says the mayor.
A house divided can't stand. You hear
A
from the
house
crowd.
divided can't stand. Look at how quickly we fall into ruin. The death of a man we barely know, at the hands of a man we love, who did it out of a love for his people. We stand together. That is what this decision is about. It's not about what is right and what is wrong. It's about whether or not we're going to make it through the crisis together. If we condemn this man in anything more than the most technical, procedural of senses, then I fear we will fail the challenge that this crisis brings.
Well, I think that's enough of that. The mayor turns to the judges, which include Cassia, the arbiter. Judges, would you go make your decisions? And they will step sort of back, down this road and into a small alley to make a short discussion, leaving the rest of the crowd there to discuss amongst themselves and await the outcome.
I would like to start channeling stressor on the mayor. Will he notice that I'm doing it?
Yes. So, stressor. To channel the spell, the cleric must observe their subject and make small, subtle gesticulations to enhance the spell. Whenever line of sight is broken or the gestures stop, the effect abates. A superstitious and stressed individual who sees a cleric of Malchus staring at them might intrinsically fault the cleric for their woes. So you would need to be positioned in a place where you can see him and sort of like focus on the mayor. And then if he looks at you, he might see you staring at him. And, you might be circling with your finger, or you got to make some sort of like, you kind of have to project the stress onto him somehow.
Like the twirling of, chaos.
But if the mayor is maybe distracted because there's a large crowd and a whole bunch of people talking to him and he's not looking at you, then like he probably won't notice. Or if he does see you staring at him and making signs, he might not know what that means. Like, you have a brand new magical power that no one's ever heard of before. So like, how could he know? But then you would have to pick a stress, something that would a stress that's affecting him currently, that can be summed up simply, that you would want to amplify.
I think... Oh, that's a good point. All right, I'll have to think about that next time I try to use it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yes is the short answer. Yes, you can absolutely channel stressor on him.
Okay, I'll have to think about the stressor, because it has to be like, oh, he's too hot, or it's like he's, there's mosquitoes, or...
Well, you could just do fear, right? Like fear of people turning against him, and it doesn't have to be like a physical thing.
And you could also amplify a stress that like he's not really feeling, and then it would just have no value. So it's not like the spell could fizzle if you're just doing something wrong, but you could try anything that you want, whatever you think he might be affected by.
I need to observe him and figure out what is bothering him. That's what really needs to happen.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, the crowd doesn't chat for too long before the jury comes back. The decision was fast. The decision was unanimous.
It's good for us.
Yes. The young man was wrong to have killed him. Absolutely, without a doubt, he is guilty. However, he acted in defense of the town, and The town absolutely needs unity, and we need all hands on board. We cannot afford to lose the workforce of a young man like this. And so the answer to his crimes is going to be lashes in the town square. 20 of them, breaking open his back, getting him in pain, maybe putting him down for a day. But after that, he'll have to return to whatever his duties were.
I ask
Good results.
Cedric to go to his house at night and heal his wounds.
I can do that, yeah.
Cedric, do you feel comfortable healing this man's lashes?
I'm gonna even do you know, a chain of protection while he's being lashed.
Isn't it a 5-foot AoE?
Yeah, but I would assume like he's being lashed. I'm gonna ask like, can I be the one who's up there like helping him, like holding him, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a chain of protection, which should ease some of the burden.
Certainly.
And then I will also can I cure light wounds him? I guess that would show. So I'll just do my chain of protection. I'll cure light wounds him later. He can ease some pain.
Well,
He takes them
the
like
sentence
a champ.
is to be carried out immediately. And as they come through,
Who carries out the sentence? Is it me?
someone who knows how to crack a whip needs to do it. And there's not a lot of... There's probably actually not any whip crackers on the island. It might have to be something else. Like
someone who does like farming.
Or you get like a reed and you split it and you do not a whipping, but like a... There's a term for like when you've got a split
Switching?
pane. Switching, maybe? Yeah. There's not an appropriate person to do this, so someone needs to volunteer. Or the mayor will have to do it himself. You volunteer?
I'll do it.
That's suspicious. The mayor looks at you and goes, do you think you can really be a fair judge? Not hit him too soft, not hit him too hard?
I say, do you doubt my commitment to this town to carry out its duty? If so, you can assign someone else. If not, I will take care of it.
He trusts you.
My loyalty is to the town and the people.
He trusts you. He gives you the cane, sets you up to do it.
I fucking absolutely obliterate this guy with the fucking cane. Like there.
Now, as you start to whip wounds into his back, as this chant of protection's going on, you're seeing these wounds. They're not making the sorts of marks that you would expect, and there are like the other people who can see the back, which, you know, he's facing away from everyone, so everyone can see the damage. It's sort of a public, you know, barbaric tradition here.
Theatrically,
like
I look at the whip in my hand and I'm like, someone else,
Yeah.
you. I grab someone in the crowd. I hand it to him and I say, hit him as hard as you can.
And the wounds do not really appear. Like, there's small red welts, but there's not the sort of damage that anyone would expect from this.
The gods have spoken. They do not approve of punishing this man. How else would you explain these wounds? I invite anyone to come try. I
Now-
wave my hand at the crowd.
While this is going on, there's not like a visual element to the spell that Cedric is chanting, but he is still making a verbal chant. Like, he is still talking. He is still speaking. And I need to roll some dice to see if anyone is picking up on this. Like, Cedric is, you know, speaking to himself seemingly as this guy's getting whipped. That's an unusual thing, but under normal circumstances...
People could also think I'm just speaking to him, you know, giving him kind words, but yeah.
Yeah. We haven't really delved into what the words are in these chants, and they don't necessarily have to be in common. They come to you sort of on your own.
It would kind of just be like a bit of tongues, I would say.
Like an old lost language, as if you were
Yeah.
speaking Latin or something.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I'm going to roll some dice to see if people pick up on this or if they're too Oh, no. Oh, yeah. It becomes quite apparent. You know, you're up there holding on to him. You're one of the people that's grabbing his arms. And so when you're speaking at first, no one really cares. But then when this starts to happen and your words are strange, people start calling out, Cedric! What's Cedric doing?
I kind of
what
like
is this?
snap out of it, and I'm going to play it off as like, what was happening? And I'll
Everyone
ask
gets
them.
real quiet. People look to the overseer. People look
I
to
take the
Cedric.
whip. I take the whip in my hand. I look back. And I say, I believe the gods were speaking through Cedric. But I will finish carrying out this man's punishment. So I imagine we've whipped him a few times, and I carry out the remaining whips.
Yeah, that's fine.
That one will leave a big slice down his back. And now as you finish out the punishment is no longer the thing that is interesting to the crowd. Cedric, speaking perhaps unknowingly, channeling divine abilities that protected one of their own. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of conversation within the crowd about what the four of you can do. Apparently, in the last few days, Cedric can now protect people who are next to him and heal people who are next to him. The Overseer has been off slaughtering goblins, and this Elijah dude from out of town has killed scores of goblins, or dozens. There's a lot of, I don't want to say us versus them, but like what has happened to these four people.
What is like the gods maybe blessed our town with?
Yeah, what is going on? And I think this scene here, as Bayo is being punished, and the crowd is trying to figure out what's happened to some of their own, is where we can end for the day.
So hoping that my lie about protecting Bayo with the gods would just slip under the radar.
No, it worked
Lot
out.
that's going on. We'll
want
see
Bayo.
what the town thinks of you. We'll see how Bayo works as a warden, since you can promote him. That's your job. You can do that. And we'll see
Absolutely.
what else we're going to do about the old man, the other islands that might know about this, hear about maybe the mayor's trip. There's a lot to go into next time on Floating Fortress.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon to get extra cool stuff. We love you all.